Hello, my loves. Welcome. It is time for yet another stream. Hopefully, everybody's having a good Sunday. I feel like I'm having a decent Sunday. I didn't sleep super well, but I've been taking a chill morning. I mean, honestly, my brain has been going like 1,000 miles per hour this morning, but I feel like that's not a bad thing compared to, I mean, not like, I'm not like ruminating over bad shit. I'm like, I have so many ideas and like, I want to learn more stuff. So, yeah. Lots of people in here today. Hello, welcome in. Please hit the like button on the YouTube page. It's quick, it's easy, it helps the show immediately. I really, really appreciate it. If you're in the YouTube chat, if you want to, you can click one of the top links in the description is to the website where we have this custom chat over here with custom emojis and fun color names. Hello, Gayfish. Hello. Hello, Kitty. Hello, Atine. The better the streamer, the later they are. You know, I guess that means I'm not a very good streamer because I am literally always on time. I mean, I maybe be like 2 minutes late, but that's like the most. So, hello, everyone. Tip top of the morning to ya. Yeah, I don't know, in a box. Stop fucking talking to me about my volume. Like, if I had any control over it. I honestly don't even know if the line, like, I don't know how they balance things. I have little control over my camera. I've noticed, like, this, like, my camera is like zoomed in, right? But I don't think it's as zoomed in on the line. So like, I have less control over my own stuff on like whatever hosting service the line uses. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I literally cannot boost my audio. I mean, true, Max. 59 viewers and only 33 likes. Sad. Yes, exactly. I have the wizard gene. I arrive precisely when I mean to. I'm like, let me look in here. I've already messed with the gain. Like, let me see. Yeah. That would explain why Cirrus is always rather late. He's great. Cirrus is one of the good guys. We love Cirrus. I haven't chatted with him in a long time, but he is always fun. I'm just taking a quick browse. Like, literally, do I have any control over my volume at this point? Like, everything is boosted as much as it can be boosted. I'm pretty sure I can't boost the gain any further. Yeah. So it is as high as I can get it to go. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm going to put that away now. So, yes, what's up, Strawberry Estrogen? Does it actually matter where we watch, YouTube versus website? It doesn't change the metrics on the stream at all. I just like having you on the website because then I can see, you know, all your beautiful different colored names. I will say the one main difference between YouTube and the website is that if you choose to donate, the super chats, YouTube takes like 30 to 40% of your money. That sucks, obviously. So if you were on the website and you donated directly, then you would only get like the PayPal fees taken out. YouTube is better for me. I can turn off the screen and listen like a podcast. Yeah, that's totally fine. I love doing that myself. Kitty Tick says, are you saying being on the website makes it to where you don't have to use an ad blocker to not miss stuff because the site doesn't run any ads during the stream? I did not know that. That's interesting. Thank you. Yes, I just cut my hair. Just kind of smoothed it out yesterday. I'm trying to get into a better habit of actually cutting it on a regular basis so that, because sometimes it gets really shaggy on the sides and then we don't like that. Gerblin, welcome to the website. No ads on the website. Okay, well, maybe it's good to have a little balance of people on the website and people on the YouTube. It doesn't really matter to me. Anyway, I'm not really sure how much money we make in ads on the streams anyway. I mostly, when I'm looking at my, I'm looking at the analytics, I mostly am observing what we see on the videos as they get uploaded. Hello, Language of Horses in the YouTube chat says, hello, this channel showed up in my recommendations and I remember seeing you on the line. Yes, I am on the line. I will be continuing to be on the line. I'm not going to be on there this week because the show is going to be a little bit later and I decided that I did not want to be on the show at 5 p.m. like, not this week. So I think the next week I'll be on the line again. Mama Mephistopheles, hello, says Luxander in its Sokka haircuts era. Is it? I don't, like, I used to have a Sokka haircut, but now I'm growing out the back of my hair, and I think it is no longer a Sokka haircut because I'm growing out the back. And now, obviously, it's, like, still very short back here, but yes. Also a new fan from over on the line. Yeah, I saw you, Kat, commented earlier that it was your first time in the chat. In the live show for here. So yeah, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. Yes, thank you for the compliments. I love you so much. Gayfesh says, I would love you to be on with Matt Dillahunty and go, hey, so what's up with all that? Yeah, I did mention recently to the producers that I could potentially be on one of the other shows, you know, like, my original activism was through like atheist activism. You know, I was kind of doing some gay activism stuff, like LGBTQ stuff when I was younger, but when I started actually participating as an, you know, in the community, doing things, I was in the skeptic community, really, like the atheist skeptic community. I was there when it was written that the whole split with atheism and atheism plus, like the very first kind of schism within the new atheist community regarding, you know, addressing sexual harassment and are we going to do feminism? Like, I've been here for a long time and I just don't talk as actively about those things anymore. Because after a period of years, I was like, oh, I'm just recycling. Like, I'm going over the same arguments. These religious people don't have any new arguments to make. And I also feel that sometimes people who are primarily focused on atheist activism have this, like, complex where they have, like, a persecution complex. And I personally feel that being queer and being trans and being disabled are all much bigger impacts on me as a human person. So it just, after a while, I guess it kind of felt a little bit silly to focus on the atheist activism stuff, but that's where I cut my teeth. Like, you know, so I could be on one of the shows with Matt Dillahunty at some point, potentially. I'm not necessarily gonna, like, beef with him publicly, because I still obviously respect him a lot, but yeah, did not agree with some of his takes on Twitter recently. Welcome to the website, Fennec. Hi. And welcome, Bumble Homestead. Says, thanks for lives. Listening while making more size-inclusive costumes for the ballet. Our company is actually pretty inclusive, but costumes are hard because very few people sew nowadays. True. I have a sewing machine. I just don't have a great place to set up to sew. So, you know, it's one of many hobbies that I want to kind of expand on. Exactly. I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago. I was actually, the reference that I was thinking of making was from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Like, don't quote the old laws to me, witch. I was there when they were written. Ateen, good shout. Ateen says that the hoodies merch are amazing quality. Good stuff. You won't be disappointed. Underpriced, TBH. Yeah, I have merch. This hoodie is only 35 bucks. It is super warm and comfy, and I love it. I wear it basically every show. And then when we get to the stream goal, I take it off, and I'm wearing a tank top, and then I go, I flex. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. Exactly. Yes. While atheism activism is a bit cringe these days, I do somewhat miss it a bit. I wonder how some of the old creators are doing. Yeah, I mean, Some of them are doing great. Some of them have gone down the transphobia rabbit hole. It's pretty annoying. Is there more info on these standalone streaming websites? Lux is the second streamer I watch this way now. I mean, basically, it's a network that the oh my god, what do you call it? Developer. White Nervosa is the name of the developer. White Leaf is the network. So it's like I'm on here, Demon Mama's on here, Vosh is on here, the Surfs are on here. You know, a bunch of like leftist streamers. Basically, like this is kind of specifically for leftist political streamers. So yeah, it's really awesome. And it's like nice to have a dedicated website where all the links are kind of concentrated. So if you're ever wanting to find, you know, links to the Patreon or links to my other social media, the website is a great place. Oh, the Surfs dropped his White Leaf site? Oh shit, I didn't know that. Huh. So, yes, it's been a good week. 90 concurrent viewers, 60 likes. I would appreciate some likes on the show if you haven't done it already. This first part of the show, we kind of just meander and talk about whatever, and we will get to the actual news in a little while. So if you're here and you want to chill, some of the stuff that I want to talk about during the chill segment today is my new fascination with pistols and the creative endeavors that I would like to kind of move forward into. I know I said the V not to be mentioned. It's gonna nuke my stream. I didn't say him in a positive or negative light. It's just a fact that he's on the White Leaf website. White Leaf, yes. That's the name of the network. Anyway. So, yeah, we will be, when we get into the news part, we have the Elon thing that we're going to talk about. And we're going to discuss the drag ban from Tennessee being upheld by the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, which means that First Amendment protections for trans people being able to wear what clothes they want is probably going to go to the Supreme Court, which is not a good thing. I mean, they've upheld our rights before, but who knows? Yeah, like things are changing rapidly at the high level courts. So the co-op is called White Forest, but the website product is called White Leaf. Yes. I think you passed 1K vids this week. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. A lot of them were YouTube shorts that didn't perform very well because I was pumping out like 2 YouTube shorts a day for a couple months this year, and I decided that was not worth it. But yeah, it's really cool. Destiny is not on White Leaf anymore. I'm pretty sure. Is the new rules gonna mess with the channel you said you wanted to make about hunting and stuff? I don't think... Well, what new rules? Are there new YouTube rules? Has there been an update that I haven't heard about? Yeah, so I am starting a second channel. I already have a second channel. I've been putting content up there, not as much as I would want to, because there just isn't... Oh, Destiny was never on White Leaf. White Leaf was a fork off from Destiny's open source website. Okay, good to know. I knew that he had a similar format. Excuse me. So I will be posting more on the second channel. There's a link in the description. It's called @OneOasisLeft. Or maybe the link doesn't quite work on the live streams. I don't know. It's just, if you go to youtube.com/@OneOasisLeft, you can find it. And yeah, it's for basically like survivalist stuff. So yeah, hunting, which currently I'm like doing bow hunting. There's my bow. Maybe there will be fishing content sometimes. That's not something I'm as interested in. I have my community garden. Oh my gosh, speaking of my community garden, I have like 20 jalapenos. What would you do if you had 20 ripe red jalapenos from the garden? Because I am thinking about doing a hot sauce, or maybe if there's a lot of jalapeno slurry when I get done with it, Maybe I'll make some hot sauce and a salsa. Um, and yeah, so, and then eventually there will probably also be some foraging stuff. And on the second channel, foraging stuff. And then if I do get into gun stuff, there might be gun stuff on that channel as well. Boo hiss, not a compound bow. I say boo hiss to your compound bow, you fake fucking gamer. Jalapenos, true. Pepper relish. Ooh, I would make some candied jalapenos. I might have the option to do several of these things because there's like probably going to be more than one decent size harvest. I figured salsa would get eaten really quickly because here's the thing. I don't have a lot of canning skills. So anything that I make from the garden this year, I basically want to get rid of it before this winter because I'm moving across the country this winter and I'm not really... Oh, speaking of me moving across the country, there's a link in the description to the GoFundMe, which is almost at the initial goal, and I would appreciate it if you would donate or share there. But anyway, so moving across the country, and I don't want to like deal with any failed fermentation or failed sterilization on anything I make from the garden this year. So I just want to go like, okay, what can I make and hopefully eat before the end of the year? Because a couple years back, I had a jalapeno plant and I did make some pickled jalapenos. But then I was like, after a while, I was like, I didn't actually do any of the stuff that you're supposed to do with like boiling it and all that shit. So I just, you know, it is literally unsafe if you're not good at it and you don't know what to do. Oh my god, true, Viren. You can bring your compound bow when you learn how to forge a new pulley wheel in the forest with minimal supplies. That's the thing. Even if I lose all of my carbon fiber arrows, I can make my own arrows. Always an option. You could dry them. Yes, I could dehydrate the jalapenos. That is an option. I had a shitload of jalapenos. I stuffed them with bacon and cream cheese and then pickled the remainder. Yes, jalapeno poppers are an option for sure. So that's like one of my major updates this week is that there are a ton of jalapenos from the garden. And I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with them. And I need to do it soon because they're going to start getting gross soon. So yeah, I was thinking like a hot sauce and you can put a ton of vinegar in there. And if there's a ton of vinegar in there, then it's basically not going to go bad, like essentially. And a salsa, you can eat up a salsa pretty quickly. I also already have a jar of pickled jalapenos that I bought from the store, so... The show The Good Place goes unnecessarily hard against jalapeno poppers, like it's literally a sin in the show. I think it's a sin because it's such a rich indulgence, you know? Based Green Witch arc. I mean, like, yeah, druidism, kind of, like a druid moment. I mean, there is, like, a pagan altar right here, if you didn't know. I have a hunting crossbow, but it's illegal to hunt with crossbow here in Finland, so I do target practice with it, and I'd need to renew my hunting license for rifles and shotguns if I get the motivation to go hunting again. It's a good skill to, like, spend time getting better at, because, you know, if you're in a survival situation already, like, let's say I don't know, like, food at the grocery store is scarce or very, very expensive because there have been a lot of shortages because it's hotter and drier every summer, then, you know, you don't want to be bad at fishing and hunting when you are hungry, right? Like, when you're hungry is the worst time to be bad at fishing, in my experience. You can never have too many jalapenos. Only if you end up putting some of them to waste. Put them in a food processor with garlic, salt, vinegar, stew it for about 30 minutes, then jar it. Amazing pepper relish. I mean, that's functionally what I'm thinking about doing. I was thinking maybe I would roast some garlic, maybe roast some onion, and roast the jalapeno, and then blend it, and then add like an amount of vinegar, maybe a little bit of sugar. Or I could just add apple cider vinegar and that would kind of take care of the sweetness aspect of it. I love how planning for the apocalypse has become so normalized. I don't actually know. Has planning for the apocalypse become normalized in general, or is it just me? And like me and a couple of leftists. When you're hungry, you get more determined to catch something. Yeah, but you have to have the skill to catch something in the first place. Or your failures are like a million times more frustrating and you get really pissed off really quickly. Like, I'm really bad at fishing. I've gotten lucky and caught like one fish in the 4 or 5 times that I've gone fishing with my partner. Oh, no. I've caught like 2, I guess. But yeah, it's the worst when you're hungry. And like, yes, you're more determined to catch something, but if you are not practiced at doing it correctly, you know, it's much more difficult. You could smoke the jalapenos over a fire to make homemade chipotle peppers. Ah, would that I had a place to put a fire. Renting sucks. I would say it's been getting normalized for the past 5 to 10 years. I mean, it's interesting because there's like preppers who have been doing this whole thing for a long time, you know? It's like, it's played for a joke in The Last of Us when one of the characters was a survivalist back in 2003. So, you know, conservatives, right-wingers, they've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. Also, there's like, there's an episode of Good Mythical Morning where they try out different, like, prepper food buckets. So, prepping has existed for a while, but it was a fairly niche... It's like, that's the purview of conspiracy theorists, right? So now, yeah, we're seeing a broader, like, leftists are catching on to it, especially because leftists actually know what the fuck the problem is. You know, this is the thing. Preppers who are conservative, they do things like get a bucket of food that's supposed to last for 5 years, right? Leftists who are preppers are like, oh, I need to build a greenhouse and I need to learn to hunt because, like, actively acquiring food, you can't just rely on shit that you've had stored for 5 years because, first of all, that's going to run out or it's going to go bad. Yeah, prepper food buckets are a giant scam. It's cheaper to just get canned or bags of the same stuff. For sure. Yes. So far, I have not done any river fishing. I would like to. But so far, we've basically just done, like, pond fishing. For me, it's like, I can't get it quite right with, like, the speed of my reeling it in. Because if I start to slow down reeling it in, I fucking almost always lose the hook. Like, it gets caught on a rock or something, and then I have to cut the line, and it really upsets me. Like, I need to learn some different things to do. Like, maybe, you know, doing a Texas rig, which kind of hides the hook inside the bait so that you're not catching on rocks the entire fucking time. But, like, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm reeling it in too fast. I'm like watching my partner who catches fish more regularly than I do, and he's like going really slow, but then I try to go slow and I'm fucking like losing lures. It's really intensely frustrating. Normies don't think preppers are crazy anymore. Really? I kind of feel like I've joined a niche group of weird people. Like the fact that I am getting into these skills, like I feel like I'm very much entering a conservative conspiracy theory space. Although my reasons for doing so are completely based on like the facts of climate change. Have you learned any butchering skills yet? I have recently started buying whole chickens and butchering them down because it's so much cheaper, like per pound. Even though you end up with these bones, like, okay, guess what you can do with the bones? Make chicken stock and then have the most delicious chicken soup you've had. So I have learned some butchering skills. I have learned online how to dress down a rabbit, although I have not yet had any success shooting a rabbit. So I need to. I was going to go hunting this morning, but then I woke up at 3:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I was like, oh, you know what? I have to work later. So why don't I not? Like, the option that I had was to try to get more sleep and not hunt, or be awake from 3:30 and just not sleep and go hiking effectively, and then come on here and do the show at noon. So I decided I was not gonna. Decided that that would be a bad choice. Oh gosh, pesky wabbits. Yes, they are pests. Yeah, the homestead community is about half crazy conservatives and half leftists. Prepping as a concept shows me why humanity is doomed. People would rather be crabs even during the end times than share some celery with queer people. I guess I don't inherently see prepping as something that you're doing for your own benefit, you know? It would be cool if I lived near other people who were also leftist and queer and they were also growing their own food. Unfortunately, a lot of us have very shitty job prospects, you know? And like, I'm like, it's a benefit that I have a cishet partner who has a trade job, because otherwise I probably would be just as fucked as everybody else and like stuck renting forever. But yeah, I like the idea of being like, okay, I have chickens, you have cows, so why don't I give you eggs and you'll give me milk? Like we can, both of those things. If you have one cow, they can produce like 2 gallons of milk a day, and that's a fucking lot of milk. And then you can make you can do processes to make the butter, you can do cream, you can make cheese out of it, whatever, but like still that's a lot of fucking milk every day to try to go through. And the same thing with chickens is sometimes they produce way too many eggs and you don't know what to do with them, so being able to trade would be good. I don't get why people get up at the butt crack of dawn to hunt and fish when deer and rabbits and fish are all out at dusk too. Well, for me, I prefer to go out in the morning because it's not hotter than fucking balls yet. Like, it's still 90 degrees at dusk where I live. It's a 90-degree day. Guess what? It's still fucking 90 degrees. And you have to wear layers and like full coverage clothing to guard against ticks and stuff. So I would prefer hunting at dusk later in the year, maybe. And then also going at sunset into, like, I cook dinner every night, or like 5 nights a week I cook dinner. So I don't want to try to balance going out hunting and cooking dinner. Like, it's just not. Yeah, and another thing is, like, you don't want it to be getting darker while you're in the process of cleaning your kill and getting the fuck out of the woods. Yeah, you don't want to be dressing your kill at 1 a.m. Exactly. I tried to donate to your GoFundMe twice with no success. Oh, that's no good. I don't really have any control over that, unfortunately. I don't know what the issue could possibly be, but I thank you for trying. Maybe try again later? Your vision is steadily getting worse in the dusk while it's improving in the morning. Exactly. Fun fact, apparently there's research into tick preventative medications for humans similarly to what we give dogs. Neat. I feel like the time difference between the stream and chat is getting really high lately. I try to increase playback to catch up live, and this is it, apparently. I did change the latency so that the closed captions would work just to increase the accessibility a little bit. I still feel like it's pretty close from me. Like, I feel like a lot of your comments are fairly active in response to things that I just said. Rabbits are very plentiful in the PNW. Yes, I'm excited. I'd rather dress a deer by moonlight than get up around 3 a.m. I mean, I wouldn't say you need to get up at 3. If sunrise is at 6, let's just say sunrise is at 6, depending on how far you're driving, you know, you might have to get up at 5 if you're driving pretty far. Energy levels in the morning versus in the evening. Mm-hmm. Tick collars for humans. Oh no. Oh goodness gracious. We're at almost 100 likes on the show today. Like I said before, this is the chill part of the stream. Ooh, there it's just hit 100 according to me on my back end here. This is the part of the stream where I just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. And then we'll get into the news and the segments here in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, no, it's definitely hard being completely self-sufficient with food. I don't think we'll ever need to be purely self-sufficient. Like, this is my climate prediction. Ready, everybody? I don't think we're ever going to be fully reliant on food that we make ourselves. However, I do think that it is going to need to be part of it because, like I said, you know, thousands of cattle die every summer from the heat and the drought. And there are more fires at chicken factory farming places, you know? Like there was a couple last summer or maybe the summer before. We saw a ton of agricultural fires, which obviously that damages the population. So it changes the cost of eggs, changes the cost of meat. And we have bird flu right now. So lots of birds are being culled for bird flu. And that is also impacting cattle. And it might also be impacting pork, like the pigs. So that plus longer, drier conditions will also impact plant agriculture. So I don't think we're ever going to have like no food in the grocery store. And then also, you know, supply chain issues with, you know, the accessibility of gasoline and shit like that. Yeah, we're probably always going to have some food in the grocery store or some food at the farmer's market or what have you. But it will be more and more expensive. So I'll examine my back end whenever I feel like it. In Sweden, sunrise is at 3 a.m. Oh man, 3 a.m. in the summer. Yeah, I would definitely consider doing it like hunting at night then. I mean, you're also, sunset will, no, your days are super long, right? So sunset is later as well. Oh, Katie Tick, I'm so jealous. We finally got a large freezer and are planning to buy a whole quarter of a cow at a local place to save money because of how expensive everything is at the stores. God, that would be so cool. I love the idea of having a deep freeze. Produce will also become seasonal again. Won't be able to do strawberries all year round. It's part of why I want to have a greenhouse. You know, that way you might not be able to grow everything all year round, but you can at least grow most shit year round. And I'm moving to like zone 7. Kansas is like zone 6 for growing. The sun sets for like 4 hours around midsummer where I live. Maybe 3 hours. And it's not actually dark. It's just one long dusk. Oh, that sounds incredible, but also really difficult to sleep through. Yes, Atin. Gas and diesel expire. I really loved The Last of Us because they actually address that. There's a scene where Joel is like siphoning gasoline out of a car, and Ellie's like, "Do we really have to do this like every hour?" And he's like, "Yeah, gas breaks down over time. This stuff's like water. It's not really doing much for us." Blackout curtains, true. Greenhouse with hydroponics or classic farming? I like the idea of doing a greenhouse with aquaponics, where you have fish in the water or shrimp or something in the water. But I probably will also do some farming in the ground. Like I have a garden plot at a community garden where I'm just plotting. It's just in the ground. And next year, when I move, the town that I'm moving to also has a community garden. So, gonna be learning at least with just gardening in the ground. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I hadn't really considered that I'm moving like several hundred miles further north. Katie says, our longest day on the coast here in Oregon is wild. It's sunrise at 4 a.m. to almost 11 p.m. Finally, currently, we are seeing sunrise at 4:30. Arizona has longer average days, but less change across the year. Wow. Gardening is hard work, yo. Listen, it is. I got so many fucking mosquito bites that the first time I went and like really weeded my garden for like 30 minutes. Oh man. And I put the video up on my second channel. The clickbait title for this segment is Trans Person Admits to Secret Plot. It is secret. Secret, 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 secret garden. Thank you, Badger. Sorry for being a drama king. The GoFundMe went through. Thank you. I have a link to that open. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars for me to move across the country. I'm saving up. My partner is saving up, but we have the GoFundMe, and it's almost reached the initial goal. So the donations through GoFundMe are great because there is no gray area about it. It is non-taxable. It's a gift. It is not income. So that is certainly going to help getting things going. Like, you know how in a lot of places you have to pay a deposit and a pet deposit. I have one cat. He's a big fat boy. And some places want not only first month's rent, but last month's rent. So I have very conservatively estimated on the GoFundMe, like, let's just say it's going to cost $3,000. But it's like someplace in the Pacific Northwest that's going to be big enough for my family and our needs. It's going to be like $2,000 a month for rent. So like 2,000 plus the deposit, which sometimes is almost as much as a full month of rent, plus pet deposit. Like, oh my God, it's insane. It's crazy. My Brussels sprouts were attacked by snails, but might still have carrots to harvest soon. I feel like my carrots are doing better than anything else I've got going this year. I actually need to check. Like, I think carrots you can harvest after like 3 months, and then you can do a second planting of carrots. So I planted in May, which means I might have a harvest of carrots that I could get into soon. The top parts of the carrots are like that tall. They're like 7 inches tall now. Learn about vertical gardens. Even outside in your yard, it makes for a lot of extra space and gets your produce away from the ground. Yeah, my partner tipped me off about vertical gardens. I don't know a ton about them. I mean, I know that there's the things that you can buy that they have like a motor and it pumps water up, and it's like a little tower thing, and there's like little areas where plants can grow off the sides of it. I've seen those, and I've obviously seen raised beds. There are a couple raised beds at the community garden, and obviously those are good because it keeps fucking rabbits and deer out of them. It's always the plant that you care the least about that ends up thriving. Yeah, I have 0 tomatoes. I have no tomatoes. I check about emotional support animal stuff. All you need is a doctor's note, and they can't charge the pet rent or deposit, at least in California. I don't know. It's like comparatively not that big of a deal. The ones that you pamper, give 2 fruits, and then die. Yeah, there's like a communal area of the community garden. I have my little plot, and then there's like a different area where it's like everybody contributes to taking care of them and everybody can harvest them. That's why I have like 20 jalapenos right now, is because it's obvious that we planted like 5 jalapeno plants and nobody wants them. Ooh, similar thing also. I made collard greens this week and it was awesome. Like the night before last, so because I've been butchering whole chickens and no one in my house really likes the drums, I decided to, okay, I'll do fried chicken on the drums. And first of all, the fried chicken, whoo, I'm really good at cooking. They were so good. But then I was like, okay, there are some collards at the community garden that clearly nobody is really getting into, except that there's some pest that keeps eating the leaves, putting holes in the leaves. So I was like, all right, I'll harvest some of these collards and I'll learn how to cook them. And they were pretty good. And it's like, it's nice to be able to take stuff from the garden that no one gives a shit about and be like, listen, I will make something delicious and amazing. When you're building greenhouses, call your local glass shop and ask if they do sliding glass door replacements. You can buy those big sheets of glass for cheap usually, and they are tempered so you can use them for roof panels with proper framing. I use bucket stacks with cutouts and just water from the top down. It's going to be a few years before I'm getting into that stuff, but I will definitely have to hit you up about it in the future, Kitty, and kind of like get the lowdown. Have you looked into buying a trailer/mobile home? No, I have not. Because I'm one step at a time, y'all. You know, right now I am just trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to live when we first get up there? We're going to rent somewhere. Probably another, like, I don't know, like some kind of rental situation. And then from there, I'll start figuring out, okay, where do we want to live more permanently once we are in the state? And then, like, what is the situation as far as, you know, what amount of land or what kind of house? Doing an A-frame greenhouse makes it so you only have to have glass on one side. A-frame? Why would you only need glass on one side? If it's south-facing, I guess? Thank you, Autine. I appreciate that. 725 donation says, just a reminder that in 2029, minimum wage will still be $7.25 an hour in the poor red states. True. Yep. It's part of why there's like almost no point in me getting a part-time job right now. Just face it south. Okay. Bacon or beef broth on my greens. I ended up doing chicken broth on my greens. I can see why bacon would be good. I'm so turned off from cooking bacon lately because let me go ahead and actually add this GoFundMe donation as well. So $57.25. Yeah. If more people donate to the GoFundMe, I will take off my hoodie and flex my muscles. I'm so burned out on cooking bacon because it's fucking difficult. You know? It's like, I don't have a sheet pan big enough to put the entire of one packet of bacon in the oven. So I have to like use 2 sheet pans or only cook part of it. I don't really want to cook bacon in a pan anymore because, again, I don't have a pan big enough to do more than like 5 pieces of bacon at a time, which is annoying. And like the bacon kisses, you know, not a huge fan of the bacon kisses. The sun never faces from the north in the northern hemisphere. That's true. Smoked turkey, a ham hock. You can put a ham hock in with the collard greens. No, Kitty doesn't mean like a lean-to. She's just saying like you can frame it out. Like an A-frame with carpentry is like the roof is like this. And then if you orient it to where like this side is facing the south, then you can put glass over here, but you don't need to put glass over here. In fact, you could probably just paint the inside walls and roof like white, and that would be a reflective surface. Ham shank is the real deal. I only ever cook 1 or 2 strips of bacon at a time to go on breakfast sandwiches. Yes. I'm usually cooking for like several people though, you know? Is cooking a hobby? Oh, for sure. I think cooking is a hobby, and it's a love language, you know? By cooking our own meals almost every night of the week, I am saving us money. I am providing a nutritional benefit. You know, it's much healthier for us than going out to eat. Even the fried chicken that I made this week was probably healthier than fried chicken that you would get from a restaurant. Just because, like, using different kinds of oil, different amounts of cooking time and stuff, you know. And it's something that you can invest skill in and get better at, and you can be creative and experiment. You can't be creative and experiment so much with, like, baking. The decoration part, yeah, you can be creative and experimental, but baking is more of a, like, a chemistry. You do this and you end up with this result. Whereas with cooking, it even just occurred to me, like, oh shit, I could put collard greens in a pot roast. And I love a pot roast. But I typically am just like, okay, carrots, onions, potatoes, maybe sometimes celery, maybe sometimes a can of, like, crushed tomatoes. I was like, oh shit, I could put collard greens in there. I bet that would be fucking delicious. The way I do bacon in the oven is I take so I have like some cookie drying racks that are like, it's like a grate, you know, it's like this, and then it's like this. And so I just take one of those and put it on top of my sheet pan, and then the drippings for the fat drip down onto the pan. Excuse me. Learn how to cook on steel and cast iron. True. I bought stainless steel cooking, a whole set of Calphalon stainless steel. And I also have a nice cast iron pan. I could see myself getting an even bigger cast iron pan. You can cook to live, or you can live to cook. True. Ugh, yawn. Man, I really didn't sleep good last night. I cook enough bacon just to feed me, so 1 pound at a time. Yeah, I cook 1 pound at a time for, like, several people. Remember to drink water. Where's the link to the GoFundMe? Well, since we're in the website chat. Oh my god. There's the link to the GoFundMe on the website chat. If you're on YouTube, the link to the GoFundMe is in the description. It's the top link in the description. For the last 4 to 5 years, I've done Thanksgiving from scratch down to the veggie stock and bread. When I have land someday, I'd love to grow a big meal for friends. My opinion, be selective about which parts of Thanksgiving dinner you do from scratch, right? Like, I think if you cook the turkey or the bird, whatever bird it is, I've done Cornish hens before on Thanksgiving, you put that in the oven, and then when it's almost finished, you can take the drippings from that and make your gravy, okay? I think it's totally worth it to do gravy from scratch. If I'm doing dressing, like stuffing, but not in the bird, I think it's totally acceptable to buy a box of dressing. The one that I like to buy is like, there's like a cornbread version of it that's pretty delicious, you know? And all you do is you boil water and then you put the stuff, the bread dressing stuff in there, and then boom, you have dressing. So yeah, be selective so that you don't have to spend like multiple days. And like, you know, if you're making a pie or a dessert of some kind, do that 1 or 2 days prior. The real question is floppy bacon or stiff bacon? Yeah, I want my bacon to be almost a little bit burnt. And like, if it's got some crunch to it, then I'm a happy camper. I love having one friend that just has way too many chickens and other birds. Someday she will be my poultry source. Yes. Get full whole chickens. It's delicious. It's basically like impossible to get all of the meat off of it when you're butchering it down with your knife. So you like I put the whole carcass in and make a stock, and then when the stock is basically done, I pull the carcasses out, and then by hand I pull off all the remaining little scraps of meat on the carcass. And shit, that's most of the meat for your chicken soup right there. Contentious bacon opinions. That's what you're here for, right? That's what you came in here for? Oh my god, BLTs do slap so hard. Oh, you know what? I don't need VLC player open anymore right now. I got some new followers on Blue Sky. Thanks for following me on Blue Sky. I posted a YouTube short today that people are real upset about. It's found the mainstream audience. Uh-oh. The normies are here. So one of the last things I want to talk about before we get into the actual segment today is I've kind of been thinking about the future of this channel, and especially because I just had this conversation on Wednesday. I joined Dead Domain because they were running a charity GoFundMe thing that trying to raise money for several different GoFundMes. And I ended up on a call during that with Dead Domain, Mia Moore, Bugs Matrix, and Jesse Gender. And at a certain point, Hoots joined. But I found it really creatively inspiring because I've been trying to figure out what should I do on this channel. Oh, which YouTube short? It was one about political violence. I made a YouTube short that was basically like, it really annoys me that liberals keep going, oh, we need to condemn political violence after the Trump assassination attempt, which, hilarious, almost no one is talking about that now. Have you noticed? Like, conversation about the assassination attempt has like dropped to a minimum. I'm not seeing very much about it. But yeah, I was like, you know, these liberals keep condemning political violence, but what about the political violence of homeless people dying or diabetic people dying because they don't have universal health care? You know, how can you condemn political violence when you are causing it? You know, so the title is, quote, "We must condemn political violence," with an eye-rolling emoji at the end, and it is doing numbers right now. It's funny. Like, a lot of people are like, this is so stupid, you're dumb. Like, okay. Oh, you missed the Trump assassination attempt? What was it, 2 weeks ago? I feel like, yeah, two 2 weekends ago. It was some Republican kid, like a 20-year-old Republican kid who, like, on Instagram had something about being, like, against Epstein in the Instagram bio. And, yeah, he posted up on a roof and shot at Trump with a rifle. And Trump got grazed. His ear was grazed. But that was the extent of it. And then, you know, the shooter was murked by Secret Service on a different roof or whatever. The thought of Trump seething that he was almost murked and no one cares anymore does bring me some amount of life, right? His cultists are eating it up. They all wear bandages now. Yeah, I feel like it's just in the mainstream, it has petered out. Because now we're talking about Kamala and the fact that Biden dropped out and all that stuff. Sorry, just my nose is really itchy right now. Yeah, Trump Van Gogh. Oh, true, Mama. Nothing quite like people who've never once questioned anything or thought about anything in their lives calling you crazy. Yeah. I had one person who was disagreeing with me about it, and I was like, oh, thank you. I am so glad to have been humbled by you, a person who has definitely thought about this for more than 2 seconds. People are fucking dumb. People don't like being challenged with, like, I'm correct, objectively, that letting homeless people die and letting diabetic people die because you won't fucking fix the cost of insulin or you won't provide universal health care, that's death and harm happening because of political systems. It is systemic violence. I'm right. And people do not like that I'm correct about things, especially when I look feminine. Oh my God, people get so fucking enraged about it. Like, not only, yes, when people recognize that I'm trans, but also when they recognize that I'm feminine, they're like, oh my God. They're like, you're so dumb. You've never thought about this. And then they try to misgender me, and it's really funny. I did think for a second we might actually be in the bad timeline, but after last week's news, I'm back to thinking we're in the wacky timeline. Whoa! We're in the wacky timeline. Oh no, the hot water heater died. That's not good. Yeah, exactly, Snoogan. The state is responsible for dishing out political violence. Politics by its very nature is about power, and that includes violent power. Yeah. The first kind of awakening that I had on this subject was from Philosophy Tube's video about violence and the fact that there are situations where, you know, people standing in the way of machinery, that's called violent. But then when the police come in and start brutalizing them, even though they are peacefully protesting just by standing in the way of the equipment, that is not portrayed as violent, you know? So even direct violence from the police is not considered violence. Also, somebody commented a few minutes ago and said, political violence and gun violence are in the same category. It doesn't exist. Like, what are you talking about? Like, gun violence is a specific type of violence. There are so many statistics about this. Yeah, what is a state if not an entity that claims a monopoly on violence? That's like their main purpose. The wacky noise, yeah. Whoa. Yes, exactly, Andy. Yeah. There's no way this is Earth Prime. We're definitely in a sub timeline. But anyway, sorry. So it is fun, you know, I'm doing YouTube shorts. Oh, I've also started posting some YouTube shorts on TikTok. I'm going to see if I can get some success on TikTok, just because it might be another way to get the message out. And eventually, if I get enough followers, it's a way to make money. You need 10,000 followers on TikTok to make money from TikTok. I think that's crazy. I have 99 followers on TikTok right now. But, you know, I'm just trying that out this week for the first time. But, yeah, so for this channel, I've been kind of trying to figure out what it is that I'm going to be doing with, like, I want to change what's on the channel, but I don't know exactly how or what I'm going to change. And then after having that conversation with Dead Domain and all the rest of them, Jesse Gender and everything, I'm like, I feel like a motivation to do more in-depth work. Like, I am expecting that content is not going to do as well, because this is how it works. I'm going to do off-the-cuff political content talking about Elon fucking Musk, and it's going to do pretty decent numbers, maybe. And then I'm going to make like a short film about like being in a small town red state queer person and like having to leave. Like, I've decided I'm going to make a short film while I still live in Kansas, because there's some stuff that I won't be able to film when I leave. So yeah, I'm making a short film, I've decided, and that's going to do fucking shit. I know that it's going to do shit, and I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to spend 6 months like gathering footage for it. And I also have 2 video essays. I actually started to revisit a video essay script that I have about BoJack Horseman. I started writing it like 3 or 4 years ago, and I picked it back up today, and I'm reworking the introduction and stuff. So I have a BoJack Horseman video essay that I want to make, and I have a video essay about The Last of Us that I want to make. So I think that this channel, I'm obviously not going to stop doing this when we talk about stuff on stream. You know, we're going to keep talking about, oh, J.K. Rowling said this, Elon Musk said this crazy law is passing in this state. But I am going to have projects that are taking a little bit longer to produce. No, it definitely is Snugan. With the new laws making homeless people criminals and mix it in with for-profit prisons, it's slavery. They've reinvented slavery. It's literally slavery, but with extra steps. The amendment that outlaws slavery explicitly says, except as punishment for a crime. So a lot of like black activists have been criticizing this for a very long time because, you know, technically slavery is illegal, but then you start over policing black communities. You make things illegal that black people do, like sell drugs because they have a hard time keeping a regular job because of racism. And you over police those communities. So they basically, like, black people are still experiencing an epidemic of slavery, really. The school to prison pipeline. I hope that the channel grows with this arc. I thank you guys. I appreciate it. I do think I have a good audience for video essays, but I don't know if I am going to do well with the media analysis video essays, which is part of why I think one of the ways in is to do media analysis video essays about trans movies. There were several trans movies that were brought up when I was on Dead Domain's stream. So, and then Elliot Page has a movie coming out next month that I plan to go see probably the day it comes out and like take my little notes and stuff. Although the video essay for that probably won't come out until I can get a copy of the movie. I want to be there for the first 420 likes on live stream. Wouldn't that be fucking amazing? It's so weird how, I mean, I guess it's not weird because my channel is very old. And so I have a lot of legacy subscribers who've been around for a long time, but it's so interesting how I have more subscribers than some other trans YouTubers who are around the same size, but that they get so many more live viewers. You know, Demon Mama has like 5,000 fewer subscribers than I do, but she gets like 3 times as many live viewers, and she makes way more money than I do. Thank you for following on TikTok. I don't touch TikTok and barely look at YouTube Shorts. Thought it was a bridge too far for me to go start regularly consuming content that short. I don't regularly consume Shorts content. And I don't like that TikTok is like, let me just keep feeding you more content. It's like, shut up. Chill out, please. Oh, thank you, Jay. Just found out about you from the Dead Domain stream. Happy to be here. I appreciate that. Have y'all seen National Anthem yet? Really good trans movie. Yeah, that's one that we were discussing on the stream with Dead Domain. I have not yet seen it. Mia Moore had a lot of criticisms of it. But I'm opening a tab now so that I will remember to check it out later. And yeah, because I love media analysis. And I think that it will be kind of a shoe-in. Demon Mama has a call-in stream tonight. Yeah. Demon Mama's call-in streams are more for imps. I know that she used to have creators on, but she doesn't as much. If I wanted to go on Demon Mama's stream, I could probably just message her and be like, yo, I have a subject. I would love to talk to you about this on stream sometime. Or I could also invite her on here. And like, she wouldn't have to come on camera. So we could potentially do some crossover stuff. But yeah, can't wait for the first 420 likes on stream. It's going to be glorious. It's fun when you do content that isn't part of stream because I am always here. Yep. You have to join Demon Mama's Discord server if you want to get on the list. Yeah. And there are lots of people who want to get in, so you have to be on it and, you know, turn on your notifications and stuff. I'm sure DM would love to do collabs. Yeah, I just contacted her and told her, like, I'm going to be moving to not very far from where she lives. And I was like, it would be great to get lunch or something with you sometime. And she was like, yeah, that would be fucking fire. I know she's also talking about Xanderhall stuff at the beginning of stream. Oh my god. Okay. So I do want to touch on this just since it came up in chat because I haven't talked about it yet. But this stuff with Xanderhall right now is wild. You know, Xanderhall, another streamer, you know, generally I've been like, I'm trying to like Xanderhall, but it has not generally been receptive when I've tried to message him or like if I've been like, hey, you know, you had this take and I had an issue, you know, like, could we talk about it on stream? Like I've been like, I want to like him and I do like him on some level, but then also like he's a huge dick to people. He bans people unnecessarily. He burns bridges unnecessarily. So I'm just like, Xan is not someone who is open to being friends, basically. Goblin Arsonist, welcome to the website. Cool name. And then recently Xanderhall has been criticizing Vosh and saying he seems like a right-winger now, and he's implicitly supporting Trump because he's criticizing Biden so much. And obviously Vosh was like kind of taking issue with that, maybe kind of hurt by that because he's friends with Xan. And that's not like, I generally don't do content talking about other streamers because if I have a personal issue or even like a professional issue with one of these people, I would much rather message them personally, which is why like I haven't really talked about Xanderhall on stream before because in the past I've contacted him privately and been like, hey, I would like to talk about this issue maybe on stream, and he doesn't get back to me. So like I think if you're trying to be friendly, if you're trying to be in, you know, a positive community space with other people, then you don't make you don't make content about them, you know? I have, like, I think in the past I've made a video about Vosh, but it was like, people misunderstand what Vosh is saying, and I'm here to clarify because I actually understood what the fuck he was trying to say, which was like ultimately supportive of what Vosh was saying at the time. It was with J.K. Rowling, him being like, shut up and sit down or whatever the fuck he said to her. But Xanderhall, and apparently he levied those same criticisms against Demon Mama. So streamers like myself who are critical of Biden and were saying, yo, Biden, please step down. Like, holy shit, we don't want you as the person. And like, you do not have the whatever, the chutzpah, whatever it takes to beat Trump. Everybody is concerned about your age and your ability to, you know, carry the torch, as it were. And yeah, it's really fucking stupid that we can't criticize Biden as people who want the Democrats to win. We want the Democrats to win, and that's why we wanted Biden to step down, because Biden did not have the polling and did not have the fundraising required to win. We don't want Trump to win. If Biden has to be the running mate, then yes, we want Biden to win, but we want him to step down because we think someone else would have a better chance of winning. And for that to be considered like, oh, you must support Trump because you're criticizing Biden all the time. Obviously, that's fucking insane and pretty stupid. And it's a really uncool thing to do publicly with people who you are friends with, to say, oh, well, people can't tell the difference between you and a right-winger because you're criticizing Biden all the time. It's just really, it's not the smart move. And it's also really shitty because both Vaush and Demon Mama have seriously helped Xander Hall out in the past. Vaush like paid for Zan's entire streaming computer at one point a couple years ago. And Demon Mama went and got Xander Hall from California to move him up north to like Washington, wherever he lives now, when he got out of the abusive relationship with his ex, who was like financially taking advantage of him, right? It was crazy, like to publicly go after these folks instead of privately going, hey, I have some concerns over your rhetoric. Like it's not like there was a private conversation and then he took it public. You know, there was no private conversation as far as I can tell. I feel like the drama should just die since Biden stepped down and people seem happy with Kamala. I know I feel relieved. Oh, I certainly feel relieved, right? But the where the drama is now, the drama is not about Biden at this point. The drama is about Xander Hall publicly calling his friends Trump supporters for criticizing Biden. Like that's where the issue is now. Yeah, spite can be toxic. And like, I want to respect Xan and I want to like Xan. I give him a lot of benefit of the doubt because he was in an abusive situation with his parents. And then he moved in with a woman who was gaslighting him and abusing him financially. And like he, as far as I know, he has not sought therapy for it. So I get, like, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt a lot that he is not emotionally developed very well, you know? And it's like, I do feel like he still has carried over some of his, like, the toxic habits from him being a right-winger. Like, that's how Xan got sort of quote-unquote famous. Obviously, none of us in this space are particularly famous, but you know what I mean? Like, he kind of got famous because he was like, I used to be a right-winger. I was in the right-wing, like, pipeline, and I broke out, and now I'm a leftist, you know? There are still residual, like, you did not think things through very hard type things that he has still continues to do at this point. And I want him to get therapy. Like, I want him to be able to do some very basic, like, I don't want to say reading. I mean, it's basically reading comprehension. You know, Demon Mama posted something, or she like retweeted something earlier today. Let me see if I can find it. Or like last night, maybe. So part of what Demon Mama, like part of what happened is Xander Hall was really underplaying the fact that Biden keeps making these gaffes. Like, he's supposed to be introducing President Zelensky of Ukraine, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. And like, that's like, yes, it's a slip up, and yes, he caught it immediately, but that's still a fucking, like, shouldn't have happened, right? You should not be in a place where that is just something we have to expect from the president. You know, remember when misspelling the word potato got a guy completely disqualified from the court of public opinion from being president? None of us were alive, I don't think. Most of us probably were not alive when that happened. But so, you know, Xander Hall really downplayed that. And then when Demon Mama was responding to that video, she started calling him Epstein. She started calling Xander Hall Epstein. Like, oh, you remember when Epstein was saying that? Oh, no, I meant Xander Hall. Oops, that was a mistake. And then Xan took that and was like, Demon Mama compared me to, she equated me to Epstein. And that's why he blocked her. But, oh yeah, he started walking away from the podium and then caught it. But yeah, Dan Quayle. Like, does Xander Hall not understand what she was doing? Like, for Zelensky to be called Putin, a guy who he's fighting a war against, when that guy is, like, trying to take over his country, you know? Like, it is egregious to call Zelensky Putin, you know? And then Xander Hall doesn't seem to understand that Demon Mama is making an exaggerated joke by calling Xander Hall Epstein and then saying, oops, I didn't mean Epstein, I meant Xander Hall. And then, like, for Xan to go, she equated me with Epstein. Like, I'm sorry, Xan. I don't know if anybody is going to tell him that I've said this. I don't, like, he still follows me. He retweeted my GoFundMe, and, like, I very much appreciate it. That's the dumbest shit I have seen anybody take. Like, it's like either a deliberate bad faith interpretation of what Demon Mama was saying, or you're fucking dumb and you need to log off for a few days. And like, that's like the nicest I can be about this. Like, the Xan does not seem to understand, or like, yeah, maybe he is deliberately looking for things to victimize himself about. I don't know what the deal is. Yes, Demon Mama was pointing out how monumental of a mistake it is to call Zelensky Putin, because Putin is a really fucking bad guy. So for someone to accidentally call someone Epstein is also a pretty big deal. Yeah, it's not the occasional faux pas that's concerning, it's the repeated goofs. Like, the repeated goofs. I could be considered infamous, true. So, God, you know, I understand why people are frustrated. Oh, I must have missed that part, Eliasis. Eliasis says it's not just his bad faith, but then intersecting these people want me to be homeless. You're doing fine, Xan. Doing way better than me. Like, younger than me, started this career after I did, and... Or maybe he's been streaming for longer. I've been posting videos for way longer, but... Yeah, You're doing fine. Nobody's gonna make you homeless. Like, as a white dude, there is almost no chance of you actually losing enough of your audience to be, like, unable to make money doing this anymore. Snugan says, I think Xan has leftist ideals, but still uses right tactics and rhetoric. Yeah, maybe. One upside to being a sex worker is that while my audience is full of gooners who don't care about me or my life, that apathy does mean I never have any drama. Only nudes. Yep. Oh my gosh. Hail hydrate, y'all. Drink water. Unless you're the white boy that derails a train for clout. Yeah, I guess, man. Like, stuff like this, and this is the part that kind of upsets me, is that behavior like Xander Hall's makes it makes me feel like I shouldn't try to be friends with other streamers because people are going to assume that it's for clout, or people are going to be like, what are your ulterior motives? Especially because again, like, I'm a smaller streamer than most of these other folks, right? I have more subscribers than Demon Mama, but she has way more active viewers than I do on the live streams. At least her videos are about the same as mine, maybe a little bit more, but like about the same. But like, the more other people have these bad faith public criticism interactions where they are really rude to people who have helped them out a lot, you know, it makes me feel like I can't extend that friendship branch. Like, the people are going to be wondering what reason there is. And I'm like, I just want to have like work friends, basically. And it would be nice to do collabs once in a while. And it would be great if I could get lunch every once in a while with some of these people. And like, yeah, maybe it would be a benefit to be friends with other people in these spaces so that we can organize, and so that when I have my fucking homestead situation going, we can trade and help each other. And yes, I would love to go shooting with Demon Mama and Vosh. I would love that. I would need to have a gun first. And I don't know that that's going to happen immediately because I'm trying to save up money to move. But like, yeah, I would like to have better relationships. And I just feel like this kind of fucking behavior poisons the well for everybody. It's easier to keep objectivity, not being buddy-buddy, but it also minimizes one's chance to grow an audience Venn diagram style. Yeah. Friendship is magic. Yeah. I would love to, and like, this is, you know, a very small part of where I want, like, why I want to live in the Pacific Northwest, but it is a nice benefit that I actually do know people up there, you know? I'm friends with Gayfesh, my friend's Silent, and like these other streamer people who live in Seattle. It would be great to be able to have professional relationships and develop friendships and not worry so much about losing my rights in the meantime, you know? There are leftist people in Kansas, but not really other creators. It is cool, though, I will say, how many other trans people come from a rural background. You know, talking to the people in Dead Domain's chat this past week, excuse me, Dead Domain comes from a rural background. Mia Moore comes from a rural background. So I do feel like there is some, you know, we could build some momentum around the, you know, my second channel, how I'm doing like hunting content, and eventually there will probably be gun content, and, you know, normalizing the kind of, I work outside, you know, I grow my own food, you know, normalize that for leftist people. I think what put the nail in the coffin was how he tried to drag Demon Mama into the Keffels beef, and now he's turning on Demon Mama, using friends for drama content. Yeah, it's not good. Lux, have you considered? Numbers go up. So far, numbers go up. Be careful with gun content. There's new restrictions on YouTube. Yeah, I heard about that earlier. Like, I don't fucking... I'll look it up later. I've been watching a bunch of gun videos, like, the last couple days. Building community and improving the discourse. Yeah, exactly. YouTube will now age restrict certain firearm content for viewers under the age of 18, including videos showing the firing of a machine gun with Glock switches, the firing of homemade ghost guns and 3D printed guns, and the firing of a weapon with a high-capacity magazine or bump stock, among other changes. I'm not going to be doing any of that stuff, so I'm not too worried. YouTube plans to start prohibiting videos to users of all ages that show users how to remove a safety device from a firearm, such as a device that limits the release of a magazine. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing any of that stuff, so I'm really worried about it. I think that fucking 3D printed guns are some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. But that's because I actually have a 3D printer and I know what kind of failures they can have. And like, oh my god, do you really want an explosion in your hand with a piece of shitty plastic? Like, oh my god. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I don't disagree with those changes that YouTube is making. I'd love to move to the Pacific Northwest, but all my IRL connections are near Chicago. Hey, I think that's a good move. The Keffel's beef is its own can of worms, where Zan pretends he was right all along when he burned that bridge for completely unrelated reasons. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what Xanderhall said. I don't know what Keffels said. I don't know anything about it, and I have no interest in learning about it. You know, I understand people are really disappointed in how both of them handled the situation, and I'm okay with not being involved. I don't need to know every stupid thing that every streamer in my space gets into. It's actually really abnormal that I watched content about Xanderhall at all. Like, I watched Demon Mama's hour-long video about him. The birthday boy video, which was accidentally released on his birthday. She didn't know it was his birthday. But she meant birthday boy like someone who starts shit with someone and then they're like, oh, I'm the birthday boy. Don't hit me on my birthday. Because that's kind of how Xanderhall responded. You know, he made all these really strong criticisms about Vosh. And then Vosh was like, dude, this is fucking deranged. Like, what is wrong with you, Zan? And then Zan was like, what? I only said you were a cool guy who I disagree with. And it's like, that's not what you said. Oh, apparently YouTube doesn't allow live streams that show someone holding, handling, or transporting a firearm. Good to know. No firearms during live streams. Anti-drama pilled content. Yeah. I just got recommended a short from The Line with you and Arden. This caller thinks trans on trans violence is the problem. Am I being clickbaited? I can't remember. So, on The Line, for those of you who don't know, I do a live call-in show, on Thursdays. Not every, I mean, I'm not on it every Thursday. The show is on every Thursday. But, the content is like 2 months ago. I don't know why they do it this way, but they post content on the channel, the shorts and the live streams from, or the shorts and clips from shows that happened like 2 months ago. So whatever the conversation is, I can't remember what it was. So I don't know to what extent it's clickbait. Yeah, the Transatlantic Call-In Show. Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Time, except for this week it's going to be at 5 p.m. Central Time, and I am not going to be on there this week, but I will be on there later in August. Oh, Nominal Naomi is going to be on this week. So any of you who love Nominal Naomi, she's going to be on the line on Thursday this week. I tried to call in this week, but the line was busy. Yeah, we had a lot of callers this week. And we also had a hard cutoff time because Arden had plans. You can still make gun tutorials for safe handling according to these new rules. YouTube doesn't allow you to post videos about how to make guns. But yeah, I literally have just been watching a shit ton of videos this weekend about safely handling guns and the parts of guns. Like, you can do all of that still. I agree, Mama. Yeah. Gotta let you know when there's good, spicy episodes. Yeah. Well, anytime that there's clips on the channel, those are probably going to be spicy. So there was just a clip posted on the line of me and Arden dealing with a caller who was complaining about trans women in sports. And obviously, I know that some of you get annoyed with that conversation. I like to still have that convo sometimes. The title is something that I said to the caller. This is feels over reels, babe. So, you know, there is still good stuff on the show. Nice, fun calls. My confused facial expression there. Lovely. Naomi is the debate queen. I just wish she posted more. Yeah, I wonder what she does. Like, I don't think she's a streamer as her job. I'm feeling surly today. Who do you need me to take out? Well, we were just bitching about Xander Hall, so I guess I'm not going to send you all to go bother him, but it's, you know, just for amusement. Thank you, Elias. The VODs, we tend to do chill time on the VODs. We do try. I think the hiatus is on account of being a mother. Fair enough. I think she streams on Twitch. Okay. Yeah. I don't co-stream to Twitch. I'm happy to not be a stream person. Maybe I should, like, I'm not a Twitch person. Should I be a Twitch person? Well, let's get ready to shift gears a bit, since we're getting close to the 2 hours of talking about whatever bullshit we wanted to talk about today. 140 likes on the stream. Jesus, thank you guys. If you didn't know, I'm running a GoFundMe because I am trying to move me and my family out of Kansas up to the Pacific Northwest, including I am trans and one of my family members is trans. We can't legally use public restrooms. So if you want to help us move, please consider checking out the link in the description. We got another $15 donation on the GoFundMe, which I will add to this stream amount, $72.25. We are almost to the initial goal. There is a stretch goal, so I might increase the goal for the GoFundMe, because I did like really low level estimations on the cost breakdown of what it's going to cost to move. But yeah. Discoverability on Twitch is, to put it lightly, shit. Yeah, I have the built-in audience already on YouTube. The first thing I saw when Naomi got back was stuff with Progressive Victory. I kind of threw up in my mouth and walked away. I'm not personally a huge fan of electoralism. I'm not going to shit on people who are trying to prevent the slide into fascism by encouraging people to vote. And with more than anything, on Progressive Victory, it's not just that they're encouraging people to vote, it's that they're encouraging people to volunteer. You know? Did you count Maya and Lisa's GoFundMe donos? Because I think we might have hit the goal already. It's showing me on GoFundMe. So I set the initial goal at 5,000, and we are presently at 4,611. The most recent donation was... Oh, I see. There's a $25 donation that I didn't grab, which puts us just under 100. Because I just added this $15 dono and I added this $50 dono, so I missed this $25 dono. Oh, or was there another one? Oh my gosh. It's so weird. Like, there's this page and then there's the page on the back. And I feel like sometimes this doesn't update as quickly. So yes, we've already hit the goal for today. I see now. Okay, so we have, yeah, 100, like 145 donations. Okay, cool. Thank you. And another $5 donation. Thank you from Ateen says, all you're talking about guns made me think of an amazing video that I think is worth everyone's time. It's Paul Harrell, How to Spot a Fake Expert. A great video for everyone, IMO. Ooh. How to spot a fake expert. Okay. Yeah, 2.4 million years, million views, million years ago. Yes, okay, my bad. So yeah, thank you everybody. That means that we've hit the goal for today. Like 140 or something like that? I don't know. Cool. Which means... So I'm doing a cut right now, with going to the gym, but I think I'm still gaining some muscle mass. So let's see. We'll do this and then we'll start talking about the real news. Oh my god, I can't fucking... I'm getting used to my glasses now and I'm like, oh my god, I can't see. As soon as I take them off, I'm like, oh god, how was I doing this for so long? Okay. It's not so much about the mission statement of Progressive Victory, it's more that Brianna Wu and other people have been involved. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I quit working with Progressive Victory after they hired Riley Grace Rochong. Yeah, thank you, Viren. Someone donated like $2,500 to the GoFundMe, which is fucking insane. Like, somebody just donated half of it. I'm not sure if I'm actually gaining any muscle right now. I'm still working out, and the amount is going up at the gym every time I go. How big are my lats right now? The lats. Yes. I'm gonna keep this off because it's fucking really warm in my office right now. Oh, quick question. Thank you, Strawberry Estrogen. Yeah, I'm not getting as strong as fast as I want, but you know, primarily my goal right now is to I'm doing a cut, so I'm trying to reduce my total percentage body fat right now. Oh my god, I need to clean my glasses so bad. I left my cloth over by the sink because I washed it. I'm not plateauing at the gym. No, I'm not doing a very good job of being consistent at the gym, so I'm definitely not plateauing. Yeah, I'm still very much at the beginner, like, oh, I just got a tattoo, so I'm not gonna go this week, and then, oh, I got a really bad sunburn, so I'm not gonna go this week. Like, I'm really inconsistent. Yeah, I know, Fennec, the difference between hypertrophy and, like, actual strength. Oh, cool, Mama. Yeah, no worries, not responding to the DM. I'm terrible about DMs anyway. Been doing rows for a while, but I figured out how to actually flex my lats, and they're there. Focusing on form for a little while before I up my weights on pull downs and rows again. Yeah, the best way to get your lats to engage is to, basically, you're, like, drawing your shoulder blades close together and you're keeping your elbows in tight. So I'm actually switching from isolated row machine to low lats on the cable machine. Just trying some new things out. Anyway, yeah, no guns on the live stream. Too bad. Come get me, YouTube. Anyway. Taking shirt off while wearing glasses is a lifelong skill. Yeah, I've only had glasses for like 3 weeks. I'm still learning. Still learning. Okay. Well, I've got like, so we had 3 subjects we were going to talk about on Wednesday that I ended up not getting to because I was on the stream with Dead Domain the whole time. So kind of the things that we have today are obviously Elon Musk and him shit-talking his daughter. And I was going to talk about the drag ban in Tennessee being upheld by the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. I do it like I'm trying to touch my elbows behind my back. Technically impossible, but it helps. Yeah, you're imagining you're trying to draw your shoulder blades or your elbows together behind you. That's how you get the lats to engage. Excuse me. And then we were going to talk last time about Mama posted in the Discord server something about how someone is like, they're trying to cure autism again. And I would love to talk about that, but I don't know if if the autism conversation is gonna do well on the show as a segment. And I am still kind of trying to like focus on things that are going to do at least semi-okay on the channel. I just don't know if that's gonna work. But there's other stuff that we could talk about as well that could still fit into that purview of like doing well on the channel. Let me see. I'm looking through the stream recommendations on the Discord. Okay, yeah, something about how autism can be reversed. Scientists discover that autism can be reversed. We had some news about the Democratic platform. I don't want to cover the Democratic platform until they actually seal it in, like until Kamala signs off and says like, oh, this is my platform. What's up, Digis? Been viewing your videos for like half a year. This is the first time catching you on stream. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in for the live show. Okay, let's see. What else do we have recommended today? Yeah, the API leak thing turned out to not be real, I'm pretty sure. Mama posted, fascist judges in Ohio have decided to ruin boneless chicken wings. Next, they're going after Joy. Because apparently, like, chicken wings that are advertised as boneless are allowed to have bones in them, according to the Ohio Supreme Court. And this doesn't mean, like, there's one whole bone in the middle of the actual wing part of the chicken. It means, like, it's okay if there are shards of bone in what is otherwise, like, a processed chicken nugget thing. Which is insane. Time magazine says Donald Trump said that disabled Americans should just die. Opening that link, I'm not sure if we're going to talk about it today or not. Yeah, the Kids Online Safety Act is coming back into the conversation, and I think that that is partially scary because it's like one of these Project 2025 things that's coming into fruition under Biden's presidency that, oh, the Kids Online Safety Act, we need to protect kids from stuff, but part of what they are trying to protect kids from stuff is like the social contagion of transgenderism, which is obviously bad. Trump also said something about how after this election you'll never have to vote again. Yeah, did I keep something about that? I feel like maybe I did keep something about that. Yes, I do have a note about that. Although again, people I have the video about Trump saying you don't have to vote again. I don't know if that's gonna work on the channel as a segment, is the annoying thing. If I get a bone in my boneless wing, I'm never going back to that place. Right. It's the problem is that like it's basically a chicken nugget, you know, the boneless wings. It's basically just a chicken nugget that has been breaded and fried, and you take a bite and then you start. So the problem is that it could break your teeth, or that you might not know that it's in there and you might swallow it and then it will lacerate your inner organs. Like, that's why it's a problem. What you're doing right here makes me wonder if you should do like micro seggies on stories you want to cover but don't have tons of time for. Posting them on shorts and TikTok, maybe compiled into one video on regular YouTube. Maybe. I'm still trying to figure out what the correct move is. What's it called when you're worried about stuff that's not on anyone's radar yet? Is it a type of condition? Asking for a friend? Oh gosh, yeah. The guy who sued over the boneless chicken thing had a bone fragment cut his esophagus and got infected. Ugh. Yeah, it's meant to help companies save time and therefore money removing bones. And I get it. It's not easy. You know, this past time when I butchered 3 chickens, I decided to go ahead and debone the thighs because it's going to work better for the type of meals that I make if I just have boneless thighs, and it fucking takes extra time. I don't even know how you do that in a machine. So like obviously, yeah, it's going to be easier if you don't have to remove the bones, or like yeah, if you're taking the extra chicken parts and sloughing them around, you know, it's easier to just grind up all the bones into it, but dangerous. Yeah, imagine wanting fewer regulations for the food industry. I do have strong opinions about calling them boneless wings anyway. Just call it a little chicken tender. It's a little chicken nuggy. I guess it's not a tender. A tender is a tenderloin, but you know what I mean. Yeah, removing glass shards from your food is hard. It's overregulation. Oh my goodness. Apparently, Ohio has a law regarding warranties that was completely ignored in this case. Having bones in, quote, boneless chicken would have violated that law, and the court simply just ignored it. Yeah, that's wild. This is the danger of deregulation. This is getting added to the list of reasons I do not eat meat. Just fucking prepare your own meat, you know? Boneless chicken wings suck anyways. They can be yummy sometimes, okay? You want the crunch, but you don't want to do the work or deal with the connective tissue on the wing. You know, I get it. I get it. I get it. What kind of music do you listen to, Lux? I have a radio show if you want me to play anything. I'd love to have you as a guest and we could broadcast these kind of discourse on public radio. Interesting proposition. I very infrequently am in the mood to listen to music. And I would have to think about what kind of music I like to listen to. This is why I only eat brains. Oh, true. Yes, this sets a bad precedent for people with allergies. If companies can just hide ingredients, that makes the world much more dangerous. Yeah. Boneless chicken wings are an accessibility option. They're safer for kids and people with mobility issues. Yep. I do love me some buffalo chickens. Buffalo. I love buffalo sauce. It's just so good. Like cayenne is delicious. Y'all are really trying to make me hungry today. I could, I guess, technically grab a banana. They're not very far. Ooh. I'm just gonna leave the guns out since I already got into the stream goal for today. I'm still trying to get to the GoFundMe goal. I'm still about like $400-ish away from getting to the GoFundMe goal, but we're making progress. Oh, we got a $10 donation like 15 minutes ago. Hell yeah. Yummy prions. Have you ever had buffalo flavored potato chips? No. My favorite thing to do with buffalo sauce is I make pizza rolls and then I put buffalo sauce on my pizza rolls. Delicious. It is a comfy tank top. It's a very loose tank top. Yes, thank you, Kitty Tick. I am very pleased that it has made as much progress. I was really assuming that it was going to be very, very slow, but honestly, all it takes is like a couple of really big donations. I am now hungry. How dare you? Talking about chicken wings, making me hungry. Do you think RFK's brainworm makes his brain tastier or nastier? Well, the brainworm is gone now, right? So it certainly made it more like Swiss cheesy. Agamotto says, Luxander, let me help with that hunger. Pizza with pineapple, feta cheese, bacon, anchovies, Kalamata olives with an Alfredo sauce instead of marinara. Oh, that's one pizza with all those different things on it? Okay, I could see that being... I was like, I love all of these things individually. Anchovies are terrible. I love anchovies. They're so yummy. Okay, what do we want to talk about first? I know for sure we're going to talk about Tennessee drag ban and Elon Musk. So between those two things, what do we want to talk about first? I might also do the Kids Online Safety Act. I feel like that those might be the three things we talk about today. Do we have any opinions? What we want to cover first? I know, I love Kalamatas. They're so good. Musk. I do not understand the hate for Hawaiian pizzas. It's not like an everyday thing, but occasionally, yeah, I'll eat a Hawaiian pizza. We vote for Musk's. I vote Musk so I can be here for that before I go cook pasta. Okay, so it seems like we want to do Elmo. Okay. Let me make sure I have all my links ready. Got a lot. I've got like several different things that I had about Mr. Muskie. Pineapple and jalapeno on pizza? Ooh. Oh, that sounds good. Sounds delicious. Okay. Get some links going here. My lips are so fucked up and chapped. Okay. Woke mind virus, woke mind virus. Yeah, when the links are ready, make sure the Zeldas are ready as well. Okay, I think I only need like 1 or 2 more things. Oh yeah, shit. I don't know if I have time for this today. Apparently, Chloe Cole testified in court last week that she earns over $100,000 a year in compensation for opposing gender-affirming care. Wow. Okay, one more. Oh, real quick. I just wanted to let you all know, if you haven't heard about it. Recently, Twitter added this thing where it's by default on. Allow your posts as well as your interactions, inputs, and results with Grok to be used for training and fine-tuning. So you can go into your like privacy settings on Twitter and deactivate this so that your tweets are not being used to train AI. Okay, and then we have the NBC News article. Can I please check out the NBC News article? Vivian Wilson. Okay, I'm gonna grab a banana and then come back. I will be gone for about half a second. Banana. Bananas are good. Twitter AI. Yeah, it's called Grok. Maybe if I let it use my data, Grok will become a pro-trans radical leftist. Maybe. Maybe. Banana. Okay, we're gonna eat the banana, and then we're gonna move on. Talk about Elon Musk. Yep. He's a vile human being. There's too much news to talk about every day. I know. I hate defaulting. I hate that they default us like as an opt-in. Okay. This banana is way more ripe than I usually like to eat my bananas, but you know, I need to eat it or it's gonna go bad. I prefer like slightly green bananas, you know? Banana. Water. Strap in. Strap in and strap on. Okay. It's not often relevant to talk about Elon Musk on my channel. He's kind of doing a lot of insane stuff, but mostly it's like, okay, you're just being dumb on Twitter, right? We talked about him telling J.K. Rowling that she needs to maybe go outside or maybe post some nice positive things on Twitter instead of constantly talking about trans people. But it's kind of rich coming from him because we've known for a while that he has a trans kid. Like I think that she's an adult now, but like his kid is a trans woman. And we've kind of suspected for a really long time that, you know, him being upset about his kid being trans might be a big contributing factor to why he is so deranged and why he is allowing hateful content toward trans people on the Twitter platform, and why he has censored the word cis, which is just a word that means not trans. Like, cis means on the same side. So your gender is on the same side as what you were assigned at birth, whereas trans means on the other side, you know? Vivian is 20. Yeah, 20-ish. So finally, Elon Musk is speaking out about what happened with his kid, who, you know, he's like, oh, my kid is trans and I don't like it. My kid's dead to me, kind of stuff, you know? So there's a little video, and I thought we would watch the video. And then Vivian herself has actually spoken out. We're seeing coverage. She posted on Twitter, she's posted on Threads, and now she has given an exclusive interview with NBC. So yeah, let's talk about this. Let's get into it. I want to know what this post is, where he's talking about, oh, blah, 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 my son is gone, whatever. So let's check it out.
I mean, well, it happened to one of my it happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. You know, I was told, oh, Xavier might commit suicide if he did.
That was a lie right from the outset. No
Jordan Peterson. Oh my God.
reliable clinician ever believed that. There was never any evidence for that. And also, if there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety, and not because of the gender dysphoria.
What a moron. Okay, so Jordan Peterson is like, I think he's trained as a psychologist, but he was a professor, and now he is an activist and grifter, who has never specifically studied this issue. So like, the reason why trans people have a higher rate of attempted suicide than the general population is because of the social ramifications of not being accepted and not being allowed to be themselves. I know it's enraging just seeing Jordan Peterson and for him to just be like, I'm going to assert a bunch of untrue, stupid shit. 'Cause yeah, there's like the reason why there are comorbid issues for trans people is because of the lack of social acceptance. I think he lost his license to practice. Yeah, so just, you know, assert some completely incorrect things. You're a non-practicing psychologist and you haven't specialized in this particular thing. And yeah, there is a, like, the reason why there's comorbidities is typically because people treat you badly if you're trans. It's not like the other things cause you to be trans or cause your gender dysphoria or whatever. Like, oh my God, I forgot that Jordan Peterson was part of this conversation. Anyway, we're talking about Elon Musk.
And every goddamn clinician knows that too. And they're too cowardly to come out and say it.
Sure.
Right. And so that, and then we end up in exactly, when I saw that lie start to propagate, it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's like, I see. So you're telling parents that unless they agree to this radical transformation that their children are going to die, and you think that's moral, and you think that's true. That is so pathological that it's almost incomprehensible. I can't imagine anything worse. I can't imagine a therapist doing anything worse than that, or sitting by idly and remaining silent while his colleagues are doing it. It's pathetic.
Apparently, Jordan Peterson lost his license to practice because he repeatedly lied to his clients and ditched them to do TV appearances to the degree that he traumatized them. Yeah. Good going. Congratulations.
It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
It won't stop.
People who've been promoting this should go to prison, Elon says. Like, if you encourage trans kids to be themselves, and if you encourage parents to support them and give them puberty pausing medication, which only gives them time to be further examined by medical professionals, it doesn't cause any changes for the most part. Like, it pauses things, and if you remove the medication, it resumes. Elon Musk thinks that you should be in prison for that. In prison. And his views are more extreme than just that. We will get to that in a moment.
Till that happens.
Yeah.
It'll just go underground. Puberty blockers are being accessed online by kids all the time through non-medical channels. So
I don't actually know if that's the case, but
yeah. Okay, so I see. So that's
so I was tricked into doing this, and you know, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. So
why are you concerned about this? Elon is so weird. Why are you he has like 9 kids, doesn't he? He has like numerous children. Why is he so worried about his kids' fertility? Why are you worried about the fertility of a 16-year-old? But again, as I say every goddamn time we have this conversation, if you're so concerned about their fertility, then just include gamete preservation as part of the transition process. A 16-year-old could store sperm if you're that worried. But like, yeah, the puberty pausing medication in and of itself doesn't necessarily cause sterilization. Yeah, you remain fertile if you just stop taking them. Are they, like, they only worry about this shit with trans people, or they only make up this shit with trans people. Do puberty pausing medications cause sterilization in kids with cis kids with precocious puberty? Yeah, they help with certain hormone receptive cancers. Like, just so much misinformation. I cover this all the time, so it's like, how many times do I need to go over the same fucking lies that y'all are gonna propagate?
So, anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. So you know, they call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
all right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
So this is like why he's determined. That's why he bitches about the woke mind virus, that his son was killed by the woke mind virus. I can understand, you know, parents are deeply involved. Like, they have this imagined future for their children, you know? So like, on some level, I can kind of understand why a parent might feel like, oh, I was always looking, like, if a mom is like, oh, I was looking forward to passing my wedding dress along to my daughter, But then my daughter came out as trans, and so now I'm kind of mourning that potential future or whatever. So, like, I kind of understand. You have an imagined future. You want your kid to have an easy life. You know that being trans is going to be a more difficult life. And so maybe there is a process where you have to work through that, you know? That's a thing that you work through with your real therapist, though, not Jordan fucking Peterson. And the problem there is when it stops there. If you're like, oh, my son is dead, instead of going, oh, I am gaining a daughter. You know, you could view this as a positive thing, as, oh, my child is going to be so much happier and healthier. I'm gaining a daughter. Yeah, that's true. Even if your kids don't end up being trans, they're probably not going to be the person you imagine them to be. And yeah, parents get all wrapped up in, oh, I want my kid to grow up and follow in my footsteps and do the same career I'm doing. Or I want my kid to be a doctor or something. And then, yeah, there's like disappointment when your kid doesn't turn out exactly the way you want them to. That's because they're their own person and you can't project onto them. Guys like this think therapy is just for crazy people. The problem is that people like this think that this is sanity. That's part of the problem here. Also, literally no one is making my transition difficult except for my parents. Yeah, sometimes parents are the most difficult part of transitioning. This conversation sounds AI generated. Oh gosh. So this is kind of the initial response that I saw was, this is apparently Vivian's account on Twitter. And so it seems that she has said, the last thing my dad ever said to me before I cut off all contact with him was, you killed my son. Don't call back here, bitch. So he gets half a star for properly gendering. A lot of transphobia is really just shitty parenting by shitty people. She says, I want to make something really clear. I'm happy, and according to what my sisters have told me, his life sucks. If I get a phone call saying he's on his deathbed, I'll go to the hospital decked out to the nines and show him that the bitch who killed his son is doing just fine. And that's the reality of this kind of behavior. It will be outlived. He may be the richest man alive, but he'll no doubt die waiting for phone calls that will never ring, just the same as any other shitty dad. So that was her initial response on Twitter. She also posted a response on Threads. Yeah, who says that to their child? Like, and at that point, she would have been, I don't know, maybe like 18 when he disowned her, something along those lines. It's so much more fun and rewarding just enjoying who your kids are and encouraging them to find that person. I have a 14 and 18-year-old that are amazing because we give them the access to choose who they are and find themselves. Yeah, that is the great thing about having a kid, is like helping encourage them to find what they love in the world. Crazy. So Vivian posted on Threads, which I'm not on, but we have some screenshots. So Elon apparently tweeted that this kid, and he invokes the dead name, was born gay and slightly autistic, two attributes that contribute to gender dysphoria. Okay, sure. I knew that from when he was about 4 years old, and he would pick out clothes for me to wear like a jacket and tell me it was fabulous, as well as his love of musicals and theater, but he was not a girl. So Vivian responds saying, there's a lot of stuff I need to debunk, which I will get to, don't worry, but I want to start with what I find to be the funniest, which is the notorious slightly autistic tweet. This is going to be a bit, so just bear with me. This is entirely fake. Like, literally none of this ever happened, ever. I don't even know where he got this from. My best guess is that he went to the Milo Yiannopoulos School of Gay Stereotypes, picked some at random, and said, good enough, in a last-ditch attempt to garner sympathy points when he is so obviously in the wrong, even in his own story. I did not have a, quote, love of musicals and theater when I was 4 years old because, you know, I was 4. I did not know what those things were. My earliest real experience with musicals was when my twin brother had a Hamilton phase in 8th and 9th grade and overplayed it so much in the car to the point where for a long time I swore off the entire genre. I never picked out jackets for him to wear, and I was most certainly not calling them fabulous because, what the F? I did not use the word fabulous when I was 4 because, again, I would like to reiterate, I was 4. This is so obvious, I don't even think it warrants explanation, but apparently people believe this nonsense, so here I am. This entire thing is completely made up, and there's a reason for this. He doesn't know what I was like as a child because he quite simply wasn't there. And in the little time that he was, I was relentlessly harassed for my femininity and queerness. Obviously, he can't say that, so I've been reduced to a happy little stereotype, F word, to use at his discretion. I think that says a lot about how he views queer people and children in general. As for if I'm not a woman, sure, Jan, whatever you say, I'm legally recognized as a woman in the state of California, and I don't concern myself with the opinions of those who are beneath me. Obviously, Elon can't say the same because in a ketamine-fueled haze, he's desperate for attention and validation from an army of degenerate red-pilled incels and pick-me's who are quick to give it to him. Go touch grass. And someone says, extremely shocked to hear this D-bag is a liar. Hope you're not too bothered by what he says about you. Vivian responds saying, I'm not, LOL. I've just started to find it funny at this point, because calling me dead on a podcast with Jordan Peterson of all people, while basically admitting you have zero reading comprehension by saying you were, quote, tricked into signing documents that you read over multiple times, is basically a parody of itself. Like, it's honestly camp. So yeah, Vivian would have been like 16. So if Vivian is 20 now, then it was like, when COVID started, that was 4 or 5 years ago. So Vivian would have been 15 or 16 when they gave her hormone blockers. And so, like, she would remember very clearly. So if he read the documents and he was supposed to have read them multiple times, signed them with an understanding of the health risks, and Vivian at that point is basically old enough to give medical consent on their own. Yeah, parents, I give you choices. Kids, I want to be myself. Parents, you chose wrong. Oh my God, true. Back in the 2000s, people would say, if you're gay, you are a girl. And now in the 2020s, if you're a trans girl, you're just gay. Love how we came full circle. Right. It's crazy how often that happens where, if you act even slightly effeminate as a person who's assigned male, they're like, God, you're just a girl, aren't you? But then you grow up and maybe you realize you're trans and you transition into a girl and they're like, you're such a man. Like, okay. I love her calling out his reading comprehension. Yeah, what an admission. If you read over this documentation multiple times and you still think, oh, I was tricked, like, did you not fucking read the documents? Apparently he was so not invested in his children's lives. It would not surprise me if he just didn't bother reading it. He was like, God, I don't care, whatever, and just signed it. Let's look at the actual interview, because those were like her comments that she made on social media, but she has given an exclusive interview to NBC News. Says he berated her for being queer as a child. In an exclusive interview, Vivian Wilson said her father's recent statements, including that she is, quote, not a girl, inspired her to speak out, saying, I'm not going to let that slide. So yeah, she's 20 years old. She responded to comments that Elon Musk made Monday about her and her trans identity. Musk said that she was, quote, not a girl and was figuratively, quote, dead. He alleged that he had been tricked into authorizing trans-related medical treatment for her when she was 16. Wilson said that Musk hadn't been tricked into that, and after initially having hesitated, he knew what he was doing when he agreed to her treatment, which required consent from her parents. Vivian says, I think he was under the assumption that I wasn't going to say anything and I would just let this go unchallenged, which I'm not going to do, because if you're going to lie about me, like, blatantly to an audience of millions, I'm not going to let that slide. Wilson said for as long as she could remember, Musk has not been a supportive father. She said he was rarely present in her life, leaving her and her siblings to be cared for by their mother or by nannies, even though Musk had joint custody. And she said Musk berated her when he was present. She says, quote, he was cold. He was very quick to anger. He is uncaring and narcissistic. Wilson says when she was a child, Musk would harass her for exhibiting feminine traits and pressure her to appear more masculine, including by pushing her to deepen her voice as early as elementary school. She says, quote, I was in 4th grade. We went on this road trip that I didn't know was actually just an advertisement for one of the cars. I don't remember which one. And he was constantly yelling at me viciously because my voice was too high. It was cruel. So in 4th grade, you're like 9 years old. There is no puberty happening there. Like, for most people, it would be considered precocious puberty to have started deepening your voice then. Like, that's crazy. Musk did not respond to her request for comment on this article. Wilson and her twin brother were born to Musk's first wife, author Justine Musk. The couple divorced in 2008. Wilson said her parents shared custody between their homes in the LA area. Yeah, we know who Elon Musk is. Why do you think you need to include that information? I know who he is. Wilson has never granted an interview prior to this and has largely stayed out of public view. She attracted attention in 2022 when she sought court approval in California to change her name and in the process denounced her father. In the court filing, she said, "I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form." Yeah, because she changed her last name to Wilson. She says to NBC News that at that time she was surprised by the media attention to the court filing, which she submitted at age 18. She said in the interview that she stands by what she wrote, though she said she might have tried to be more eloquent had she known the coverage it would get. Wilson says she hasn't spoken to Musk in about 4 years and that she refuses to be defined by him. Quote, "I would like to emphasize one thing. I am an adult. I am 20 years old. I am not a child. My life should be defined by my own choices." Yeah, we already watched the interview where Musk talks crap about her. And yeah, we're kind of rehashing some of the comments we already saw on Threads, where she's like, yeah, I've been reduced to a happy little stereotype. So yeah, after saying that his kid was killed by the woke mind virus, he says, "I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that, and we're making some progress." Like, we've been speculating about this for, God, has it been years at this point? How long has it been since Elon bought Twitter? It's been forever, right? It's been forever. But we suspected that he was buying the platform specifically to reduce the impact of, you know, people having the ability to, you know, agitate politically, I'll say, to, you know, like, part of the reason why I believe the things that I believe is because you can see it firsthand on Twitter. Firsthand, I watched hundreds of videos of police riots during the BLM protests with the whole George Floyd thing a few years ago. You know, that people kept saying, oh, you know, these BLM protesters, they need to just stop being so violent. But repeatedly, I watched it firsthand. Cops starting violence against peaceful protesters. Cops firing rubber bullets directly at the face of journalists. There were like 7 journalists with very obvious press gear on. Like 7 of them lost an eye because the cops were shooting rubber bullets directly in their faces, like directly into their cameras. And yeah, like, so that is the power of Twitter. Like, that's the power of a website like that, is that we can post direct information. You can completely bypass the media narrative. It's the same thing with this Palestine stuff. You know, like, I believe what I believe about Palestine because I've seen firsthand. I've seen the inside of a child's skull. I've seen babies' bodies, like, in a state of disrepair. You know, you can't believe that Israel is the good guys if you've seen that. Yeah, rubber, ceramic bullets. Yeah, it's like ceramic on the inside and then rubber on the outside. It's called a less lethal round, and you're meant to shoot them at people's legs. You're not meant to shoot them at people's upper bodies at all. Anyway, yeah, she got rid of the Musk name. She goes by Vivian Wilson now. And yeah, so I do still believe that Elon Musk bought Twitter almost specifically to reduce the power that it has as an organizing tool or as an informational tool for anybody who doesn't agree with the establishment. You're actually meant to shoot them at the ground and bounce them into crowds for a lot of them. Yeah. Vivian was also mentioned in a biography of Musk by author Walter Isaacson, a book that she told NBC News was inaccurate and unfair to her. The book refers to her politics as, quote, radical Marxism, quoting Musk's sister-in-law, Christiana Musk, but Wilson said she's not a Marxist, though she said she does oppose wealth inequality. The book calls her by her middle name. Jenna. Wilson said Isaacson never reached out to her directly ahead of publication. In a phone interview Thursday, Isaacson said he had reached out to Wilson through family members. Christiana Musk did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Vivian says she never received an explanation for why her father spent so little time with her and her siblings, behavior that she now views as strange. She says he was there, I want to say, maybe 10% of the time, and that's generous. He had half custody, and he fully was not there. It was just a fact of life at the time, so I don't think I realized just how abnormal of an experience that was. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're a kid, like, what you experience as normal, for the most part. Like, when I was a kid, I was being physically abused by my mother, and I did not experience that as normal. Like, there was part of me that was like, my mommy's being mean, and she shouldn't, you know? But, like, when it comes to a parent just being kind of absent, I did feel like it was, I guess, normal for my mom to just leave me alone on Saturdays with a long list of shit to do. Like a long list of chores. But, yeah, so, but a lot of the times you just think, oh, yeah, okay, my dad's just not here very much. I see my dad sometimes. She does say she came out twice because she came out as gay in 8th grade and then she came out as trans when she was 16. She said she does not recall Musk's response the first time and that she wasn't present when Musk heard from others that she was transgender because by then the pandemic had started and she was living full-time with her mother. About her mother, she says, she's very supportive. I love her a lot. Vivian says the pandemic was a chance to escape Musk's cruelty. Quote, when COVID hit, I was like, I'm not going over there. It was basically very lucky timing. Musk told Peterson that he'd been tricked into this. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. You have poor reading comprehension. We get it. Yeah. She says she was trying to convince him for months, but he said I had to go meet with him in person. She was texting her dad and trying to get him to co-sign on the hormone treatment or the puberty blockers or whatever. She continues, at that point, it was very clear that we both had a very distinct disdain for each other. When she eventually went and gave him the medical forms, she says that he read them at least twice, once with her and then again on his own before he signed them. He was not by any means tricked. He knew the full side effects. She said she took blockers before she switched to HRT, treatments which she said were life-saving for her and other trans people. They save lives. Let's not get that twisted. They definitely allowed me to thrive. And she comments that the requirements to obtain the treatments are still quite difficult, quite onerous, with teenagers pressured to say they're at the extreme risk of self-harm before they'll be approved. She said she felt judged by Musk and Peterson in the Monday interview for not being at a high enough risk in their eyes. This interview ends by saying, I have been basically put to a point where, to a group of people, I have to basically prove whether or not I was suicidal to warrant medically transitioning. It's mind-boggling. Yeah, you shouldn't have to be, like, on the verge of dying in order to get health care. That's part of why it's so bad, all of the updates with abortion, that, you know, in these places where abortion has been made illegal, except in cases where the mother could die, there is you, like, literally have to be septic or the hospital will not treat you. And, of course, you know, women, mothers, and trans men, non-binary people, all negatively affected by this. Most often it's women, but, you know, like the idea that you have to be basically in the parking lot of the hospital waiting to become septic before they'll treat you. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to get care before things get that bad. And that's also true for trans people. You should not have to be, like, at the precipice of dying in order to get the care. So I will end on... So, I mean, I guess I will not end on that. Elon Musk is a bad dad in general because there's this other post that's been going around quite a lot from Grimes' mother. Does somebody have a link to this? I don't think I have it saved anywhere. So, yeah, so I want to talk about this, and then I have one final thing on this subject. So this is Sandy Garosino, who is Grimes' mother, ex-wife of Elon Musk, Grimes. I can't remember her first name. Everybody just calls her Grimes. Anyway, she says, Elon, it was nice seeing you on Father's Day. I hope you got the card that I helped X make. He was so proud of it. I'm writing here as the only way I have to reach you. As you know, my 93-year-old mother is now at end-of-life palliative care. She yearns to see and hold Claire's children. Oh, is it Claire Grimes? Is it Claire? She yearns to see and hold Claire's children one last time, especially the youngest, whom she has not yet met. She was thrilled for the kids' planned visit to celebrate her birthday this weekend, today, but those hopes were crushed when the trip was canceled. I'm alarmed to learn that the children cannot come, as you are withholding them and their needed passport documents from Claire. It was even more troubling to see you and X on television at the Olympics in Paris yesterday, after your DC trip earlier in the week. Where are the other children, and with whom? They are scheduled to be with their mother. They were expected here in Canada. I write with a grandmother's plea, asking you to honor your agreement, return the children, and provide the documents they need to see their great-grandmother before she passes. Some moments in life last forever, and we get no second chances. Family is priceless. Please, Elon, I beg you, this is so painful for my mother and concerning for the kids. Time is of the essence now. So apparently he's kind of kidnapped his kids a little bit. Like, that might be a kind of, I guess, loaded term for this, but it seems that he is withholding his children from his ex-wife. Like, that they have an agreement, an arrangement, and he's withholding his children and not adequately communicating, withholding their passports and stuff. So, like, he's a bad dad. You know, he was, like, ridiculing one child for being too effeminate. And then who knows how he responded when that child came out as gay, and then obviously responded very well, like not well, when that child came out as trans. And now he's withholding his children from their mother with Grimes. Yeah, I think it would depend on if their agreement is legally binding, because it could be considered some form of kidnapping if he's keeping them during the time that they're legally supposed to be with their mom. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure if it's a legally binding agreement or not. But he's basically power tripping with his kids. It's probably illegal, but also from what I understand with parental disputes is that money talks a lot. I'm not terribly surprised by that. So the thing that I will end on is, so Elon Musk believes that if you provide this treatment to youths under the age of 18, you should be in jail. Yeah? But this final comment... Oh yeah, no, so I guess this is just him, like, reinforcing that. James Esses says, gender ideology must be eradicated from society, and those who have been responsible for the sterilization and mutilation of children must be punished. Elon Musk says yes. What does it mean for gender ideology to be eradicated from society? What is gender ideology? This is a call for genocide, basically. Like, Elon Musk thinks that anyone who provides blockers, puberty pausing medication to youth for any other reason besides precocious puberty, like that they must be punished. And then he agrees with the statement, gender ideology must be eradicated from society. What would you need to do in order to eradicate this from society? We've talked about this before with Michael Knowles. What does it mean to eradicate transgenderism? What is transgenderism? What is gender ideology? It means trans people. There is no way to eradicate gender ideology while trans people are out freely walking the streets. Yeah, I would love to know what they say when we ask them to define gender ideology. I'm sure that they're gonna sidestep, and they're gonna ooh, and they're gonna ah, and they're gonna not, like, we know what they mean. It's like a dog whistle almost. We know what this means. By gender ideology, they don't mean, like, the ideology that is, like, you reinforcing and punishing your children for acting gender nonconforming, which is, like, if there is any such thing as gender ideology, it is the ideology of binary gender. Yeah, let's learn the definition of weasel words. So he wants to eliminate the woke mind virus. He wants to eliminate transgender ideology. He wants to punish and jail anyone who provides this care to teenagers. Like young adults, functionally. Young people. People who are of an age where they can consent to sex. 16-year-olds can consent to sex in many places. But no, he wants to jail you. Also, like, yeah, he signed off on this gender care. Does that mean that he is involved? Like, he also is one of the people who is responsible for the sterilization of children, you know? Whatever. Anyway. This is, like, one of the most influential people on the planet. He has so much money. And therefore, very, very much power. A lot of power. So I'm not sure what else there is to say about it, except that this man is extremely dangerous. He was abusive toward his kid, who ended up coming out as trans later, and then he called her a bitch. Not to her face, but, you know, over the phone, directly called his child a bitch, who like, you killed my son. Like, you killed my father, prepare to die. I don't know, like, Elon Musk is just trying too hard. All right, let's put this in the notes. I think that I am more or less done with this for today. That banana sure didn't really make me any less hungry. What is today? The 28. Oh my god, it's almost August, you guys. Why? That's not allowed. Okay, Elon hates his trans daughter. That's now in my notes. I wonder if he realizes that a lot of things we consider gender-affirming care would mean he can't get his hair transplants or liposuction. I mean, the thing is, they all believe in gender-affirming care. They just only believe in it for cis people. Cis people needing gender-affirming care is normal, and trans people needing gender-affirming care is pathological. That's what they believe. Okay, get rid of some of these. Whew. The next topic we have is the Tennessee drag ban. Oh yeah, it's certainly a double standard, absolutely. I think I have something about this. Or is it in the Discord? No, I don't think it's in the Discord. I think it's... Or maybe I just need to scroll back a little bit further. Tennessee. No, it's on Twitter. There's been so much news. I will say, before we move on to the next segment, if you didn't know, I have a GoFundMe going. I'm trying to get me and my family out of Kansas. I am trans. One of my family members is trans. We're going to move up to the Pacific Northwest, and we would very much appreciate if you would help get us to our goal. We only have like $400 left before we get to the initial goal on GoFundMe. So there's a link in the description if you would like to contribute to that. The only use for Tennessee is in a lame pickup line. True. You're the only 10 I see. Oh my god, where is this Tennessee stuff? As someone assigned female with a scruffy chin, I kind of look like a dude, so I might get in trouble for wearing a dress. Yeah. Stephen Lynch made a song about Tennessee? I have probably heard that one, but I don't remember it. Okay, drag ban. My eyeballs. 169 likes. Nice. It would be cool if we did regularly get to 200. It's gonna happen eventually. Like, it's got to happen eventually. Ooh, look at the guns. Drag ban equals bad. Drag banned equals great. Pow pow pew pew. Tennessee, America's illegal brewery. The Moonshine State. I'm reading, seeing if this article is going to be good to cover. I know YouTube's going to love me showing off my big guns in a live stream. Mm-hmm. I just want a little gun. I just want a pistol to start with. That's why. Isn't Tennessee YouTube isn't gonna like you showing off your guns. I know, it's terrible. I did see the drag Last Supper at the Olympics. Demon Mama canceled call-ins tonight. Oh no, is she still streaming? Or did she cancel stream completely? I'm in her Discord. I could check. Nope, that's not the right one. Demon Mama. Demon Mama. Signal Night is canceled for tonight. Demon Mama will still be streaming. Okay. She is still streaming, just not the call-in stream. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna be on the line, the Transatlantic Call-In Show, 3 times in August. I'm gonna be on August 8th, August 22nd, and August 29th. Just got a little schedule update there. Yes, shout out to Demon Mama. She's the fucking best. Thank you, actually, a fungus. The Luxander call-in show. I don't think there's quite enough interest for me on my own, because we tried to do it like a year and a half ago or something. We tried to do a call-in show, just me on my stream. We don't get... The problem is that, like, I think that call-ins are best when there are people who disagree. And I'm gonna have to get some people who disagree in the comments sometimes and then try to trick them into joining the call on Discord. What time is Demon Mama streaming? Demon Mama is streaming at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 6 p.m. my time? No. Yeah, no, it's 2 hours earlier here. So she started at 2 p.m. So she might already be streaming. No, yeah, no, it is. Okay. It's 6 p.m. my time. Yeah, shit, I can't fucking think straight right now. She's streaming at 6 p.m. my time, which is in 3 hours. The Luxander call-in show on the line next month. Yeah, true. We're gonna have, I'm on with Arden a lot next month, it looks like. And with Josie once. Yeah, I'm gonna be on with Josie on the 8th, and then I'm gonna be on with Arden the last 2 weeks of the month. Good times. Great oldies. Minor Bat says, I found the channel through a clip from that. Nice. I've been enjoying my time on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. It's been good. It's a little tiny extra revenue as well. Always good to get a bump. I'm gonna do a share on Twitter real quick of the link to the GoFundMe. Luxander would get mad at me because I would call twice a day if we were doing call-ins. Do a call-in show with Luxaria as a guest. Who is Luxaria? Love Lux, but transphobes get way too much leeway on that program. IDK where you get the patients TBH. I mean, that's the whole point, is you have to give people the opportunity to say their piece and then challenge them on it. So here's the thing. People like it when we get spicy, but people don't like it when we get spicy immediately, you know? It's one of the big criticisms that, like, a lot of people don't want to watch the shows on the line that have Matt Dillahunty because they feel like Matt Dillahunty gets too mad too fast, right? So we need to, like, balance addressing the actual criticisms or, like, the actual points that they're making and versus, like, yeah, eventually we will be mean to people basically who are being stupid. We hung up on someone recently because he had called in every week for like 6 weeks and we were just not making progress with him. And it was too frustrating to deal with anymore. But we're functionally using those people for fodder for the show. It's a shame that Forrest is being held captive in Jimmy Snow's basement, though. I don't want him free, but I would like him to stay enriched down there. Forrest is such a cool dude. I would love to be on one of the shows with Forrest. Actually, now I'm curious. There's a few muscle and gym people I follow on Twitter. Do you have a goal for your gains? Right now, my goal for my gains is to lose some of my excess body fat. I don't have a lot, but I have a little. It's making my clothes fit differently. I'm doing a cut right now. More generally, I was concerned for a while about, like, oh, I wanted to get bigger, but I think that I'm mostly just going to focus on getting stronger, and getting bigger will happen as, like, a pleasant side effect of that, I want to have big shoulders. I want to have big arms. I don't want to have a big chest. I'm working on strength for my lower body. I want to be able to squat more. Matt definitely does get too mad too fast. Got to give people patience to prove that they need to be yelled at first. Yeah, you have to earn getting yelled at. I think Forrest is my favorite atheist debater on the line. Yeah, he's very cool. I don't watch him on the line very much. I watched him do a, like, very early on, before he was on the line, I think, I saw him post a video on his own channel about, like, how sex is not binary, basically, or, like, that gender isn't the same as sex or something like that, and I was like, wow, look at this cis boy completely understanding. Isn't that fun? So I haven't actually seen him on the line because I don't watch that stuff in my free time. It's not, like, entertaining for me. It's just work. A lot of people respond, like, when my videos break out to a normie audience, which here, like, here's a little tiny peek behind the curtain. The YouTube short that I was talking about earlier today, like, we must condemn political violence, has currently 1,300 views. And the number of people who are just like, this is stupid, you're an idiot, this is dumb, like, okay. Yeah, Forrest Valkai is a biologist. People just don't think too hard, you know? They just don't have very many thoughts in their head. I think you shared that on your channel, and that's how I discovered him. Yeah, I think that must have been. Nice, Cat. I went from science dunk videos to Forest to the line to now here. Hell yeah. A lot of these people just argue in bad faith. I agree. Rolly and Luxaria, two different videographers, do a show called Gag of the Millennial. Raleigh is gay, Lux is trans, and they are both pure chaos, but in a good way. Is Raleigh the one with, like, a bunch of facial piercings? I thought that, like, the most prominent thing I remember him saying was, like, I don't identify as non-binary anymore because non-binary people are mean and dumb. I don't remember, though. I have two thoughts in my head, and they both hurt. True. Man, can we get to 200 likes today? That would be great. Can we get any more donations today? Go fund me. Yeah, we only have like $380 left to get to the initial goal. Am I remembering right? Raleigh is the guy who was, like, used to identify as non-binary and then decided not to because something about the non-binary community. It reminds me of when people used to be like, I don't identify as a feminist anymore because feminists are dumb and mean. And it's like, either you believe in equality for the genders or you don't. So similarly, you are either non-binary or you aren't. The community has nothing to do with you. Like, either you identify as a man or a woman or non-binary, and, like, you know, I might not want to be affiliated with other non-binary people, like, not all of them, but specifically some of them. I might not want to be affiliated with some feminists, like fucking J.K. Rowling, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a feminist. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Moth in the YouTube chat says, yeah, that's him, though. I want to look it up. I want to see if it's on YouTube. Yeah, so this video says why I'm no longer non-binary, and the fucking thumbnail says toxic community. So you're not non-binary because of toxic community? That was from 5 years ago, and then the 6 years ago video says gender non-binary and gender roles, gender fluid fact, number 4. What is non-binary gender? So, yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to not see that as just like, you were trying to make money. Anyway, so I don't respect Raleigh at all because of that. I had something to share. A friend of mine casually referred to me as Pan yesterday. First time that's ever happened to me. I never thought it would matter, but I found myself tearing up over it. Yeah, just being casually accepted is really beautiful. It's really lovely. Okay, oh my god, what? Oh yeah, this drag thing. Oh. We covered this once upon a time. It takes a long time for these court proceedings to move forward, so there was a drag ban introduced in Tennessee. And I think that one in particular was one that was like, it could impact people just walking around in their everyday lives. I'm not sure that that is the case in this particular one, but like there are so many of these laws. It's frankly hard to keep track of which ones are more restrictive and draconian than the other ones. But we're starting to see this whole question of the First Amendment as it relates to, quote, drag, and what does, quote, drag even mean? And we're seeing the problem of trans people being equated with adult content. So the reason why we're covering this again today, this drag ban was introduced in Tennessee, and then a Tennessee court struck it down, and now it has made it to the appeals court, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, and they have basically said that it's legal, or they kicked it back down to the lower level court. So I guess that means that this is not necessarily going to rise to the Supreme Court immediately, but we could see a case like this getting kicked up to the Supreme Court at some point, which is not good. So right now, yeah, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals has reversed a lower court's ruling and upheld the drag ban, the ban on adult cabaret entertainment in front of children. Okay, define cabaret entertainment. Children, okay, like, I understand that some cabaret involves, like, maybe the person takes their shirt off and they're wearing pasties or something, but we'll get into why this is a problem in a second as we get further into here. The court found that Memphis theater group Friends of George's, which puts on drag shows, failed to show standing in its challenge of the state law and instructed the U.S. District to dismiss the case. The theater group filed suit against the state, claiming the ban on cabaret performances and drag shows violated its First Amendment rights. The district court sided with Friends of George's and declared the law unconstitutional, permanently enjoining Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy from enforcing the law. Mulroy appealed the ruling, questioning the cabaret club's standing and the merits of an injunction overriding the ban. The appeals court determined that the group failed to meet its burden that the ban would put it in danger of prosecution and sent the case back to the lower court with orders to dismiss it. I mean, there's an obvious danger of prosecution. Okay, whatever. The case stemmed from the legislature's passage of the Adult Entertainment Act in 2023, which made it illegal to put on adult cabaret shows on public property or in places where the entertainment could be seen by a minor. Adult cabaret entertainment, in this instance, is defined as, quote, adult-oriented performances that are harmful to minors. Okay, that is extremely broad. Harmful to minors can be interpreted in a million different ways. This is one of the reasons why laws need to be written in a very explicit manner. You can't just say generally, oh, this could be harmful, because define harm. What does harm mean? That leaves it up to the courts or like any individual cop basically to determine this is harmful to children, we're going to arrest you or whatever. So performances which feature topless dancers, go-go dancers, exotic dancers, strippers, male or female impersonators, and similar entertainers. Oh my God. So this is why this is a problem, because it's equating male or female impersonators with topless dancers. So if you've ever done drag, or if you've ever watched people get into drag, it's layers and layers and layers of shit. You're wearing like 2 layers of tights, and then the dress, and then like you're wearing a corset, and you're wearing like, I don't know, like there's so many layers of clothing. It's not like a stripper. Drag shows are not inherently like a stripper show. In fact, it ruins the illusion if you start taking parts off of the costume. So this is why this is an issue. And like, okay, a male or female impersonator, can you define that? If a trans woman is giving a comedy show, not a drag show, she's just dressed as a woman and she's doing a drag show, is that considered an adult performance that's harmful to minors on the basis that the law could just like arbitrarily decide that she is a male, she's a female impersonator instead of she's just a transgender woman? You know, this is the problem with this, is that it can leak out into other areas. What does it mean to be a male or female impersonator? And why are you equivocating male or female impersonator with a sex show? It's not a slippery slope. This is like, they've been doing this for years. We just covered it with the Project 2025 is trying to make any transgender ideology is equivalent to pornography, and pornography should be criminally liable. So, okay, you think any trans thing in public could be criminally liable as porn because you made it illegal, right? You know, they're equivocating trans existence with sexual content that's inappropriate for children. Yeah, this is basically RGR logic, but instead of foot fetishes, it's drag. Yeah, listen. So yeah, the reason that this law was passed in the first place had something to do with complaints about a pride parade that could be seen by children. So the district attorney, the Tennessee Attorney's General Office pointed out that afterward, the Sixth Circuit found that the district court was mistaken in saying, quote, there is no constitutional interest in exhibiting indecent material to minors. What does indecent mean? Again, you're just saying like a person cross-dressing, even if they're fully clothed, is indecent? As a state overflowing with world-class artists and musicians, Tennessee respects the right to free expression. But as the court noted, Tennessee's, quote, harmful to minors standard is constitutionally sound, and Tennessee can absolutely prohibit the exhibition of obscene material to children. Again, obscene. Just dressing in the clothes of a gender that people think you shouldn't is considered obscene now. Democratic Representative Afton Benn of Nashville criticized the ruling, saying, this ruling is absurd and flies in the face of small government principles. It targets drag performers under the false pretense of protecting children, even though the court acknowledged that these performances are not harmful to minors. So, Jesus Christ, like, what else is there to say? Yeah, like, we can, sometimes some of us appreciate being objectified, but like, just the idea that you giving any performance while, quote, cross-dressing. I know that some bands have recently protested this, like cis men will put on dresses while they're performing in Tennessee or what have you. But like, things are only illegal for certain groups. You know, they will pass the law that says you're not allowed to cross-dress, but they know that they're only attacking trans people. So they're not going to go after the band of cis men cross-dressing. They're only going to criminalize trans people. That's how this works. It harms their souls somehow, I know. Like, define harm. How does this harm? Men dressing as women is like the origins of Western theater. Yeah. Gone are the days when there's an assumption that women can't perform in the theater. In fact, you must perform in the theater. Yeah, it comes down to a belief that LGBTQ people are indecent. Like, that fundamentally, this is indecent and obscene and not appropriate for children. What about trans women dressing as men, dressing as women? Anyway. So, yeah. I'm not sure what the punishment is in this. If it's like... I mean, I'm assuming it must be criminally liable to some extent. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Excuse me. I'm just trying to flip through really quick to see if I can find any like how is this enforceable? What are the punishments for this? I don't think it's going to be in this decision. This is the decision from the district court, so this is not showing the text of the original law. Yeah, they're stooping so low as to regulate what people wear. That's why this is a First Amendment issue. Like, we're finally running up against this, like, do people have the right to cross-dress, basically? And in Tennessee right now, they don't. Not if you're a performer of any kind. They probably would stone us if they had their way. Listen, I don't think you're too far off. Do you think they're going to go back to the days where women couldn't wear pants? I mean, I feel like that is an underlying motivation here, for sure. I think that would be pretty unpopular, but the thing about fascist takeovers is that they don't require a majority support. So we'll just have to see. All right, Tennessee drag ban is in my notes. I don't think I have anything else to add to that today. Let me tell you how much money a stripper can make in boxer shorts and a tie. It's a lot. Yeah, fair enough. I need to take pictures for Fansly. I just keep not doing it. I got all ready to do it the other day, and then the opportunity passed me by. Hey, 50. Yeah, you're only 3 hours late. Yeah, it's not a skirt. It's a kilt. I have to do something obscene in the bathroom, right? Ooh, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do another segment today or if I'm going to wrap it up soon. I definitely have time for another segment, but my voice is very tired and I didn't sleep too good last night, so I have 2 videos that are on the dock ready to go for tomorrow and Tuesday. And then if we only have 2 segments for today, that'll carry me through to Thursday. And I'm streaming again on Wednesday, so I could leave it there. I feel like Casa deserves like a top of the stream conversation, you know? Which is local. How dare you boop my nose? I'll cast a spell on you. Not allowed. So I look at myself a lot more than most people do because I have glasses now. Like, I mean, not because I have glasses now, but like, so I look at myself more than a lot of people do. So because I have glasses now, and I look at myself a lot more than other people do, because first of all, I can see myself in the window here, and I check on that to make sure everything's looking okay. And I edit my own content. Thanks for showing up, Kat. We appreciate you. We'll be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time if you want to join us then. But I looked at myself in the mirror yesterday and I didn't have my glasses on, and I was like, who is this bitch? Like, that's not my face. Like, I'm already used to it because I see myself more than most people do. It was interesting. What the fuck is sleep? You can't cast spells? You're not in the union? How do I join the union? We can always fuck around for a little bit longer, but you can hear, like, there's so much vocal fry in my voice, and I keep drinking water and it's not going away. Arg. Thank you. I do think I look good with the glasses. Especially when my hair is down. I don't think I look as good with the glasses when my hair is up. I don't know, that's still pretty okay. A little ponytail. My hair is glued to the side of my head right now. Honey ginger tea time? Shit, it might be. I got for one of my household members for Christmas one of those little glass teacups that comes with the little dried flower tea things, and then you pour the water in and the flower like blooms. And I had one of those recently, and I put some of my sunflower honey in it. Oh, it was delicious. It was so yummy. We don't have very many of those left, and I don't want to use them because they're not mine. But we do have some other tea that's like not as good. I'm not much of a tea person, but I could be. Now that I know that sunflower honey goes really nice in tea, could be yum. To join the union, you have to ask and get booped. No. No boops, only spells. I need to do some more work on this, but listen. I was like, that's a nice little handle for this stick. It's a little wand. I can't find my copy of Aragon, and I've looked all over. Found the other 3, and apparently the dude wrote 2 more. Yeah, so the 4 in the original series, and then there's a short, like, 3-part short story thing called The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, and then there's another book called Murtagh. Tivana, before Starbucks took them out back, used to sell a blooming tea called Peach Momotaro. It was super tasty. That sounds good. I love finding good sticks. Yeah, it was a good stick. I have commissioned a proper wand. One of my dear friends from Ye Old Renaissance Festival has a business making wands, and so I've commissioned one, and I'm gonna get it in, I guess, about a month, since Ye Old Renaissance Festival starts in a month-ish. Costco had a really good honey citrus ginger tea I used to get. Nice. Don't you have to have, like, a membership to Costco? A magic wand? I mean, it's like, I don't think it's going to be naturally imbued with any magic, but it is that type of wand, yeah. But mine is going to be like bones. Because I have a very particular druid of death aesthetic. Yes, Costco requires a membership. Okay. I do love ginger. Ginger's yummy. Oh, you were making a sex joke. Oh, I see. About, see, I'm tired. The Ritalin has worn off officially. Yeah. I did have one of those at one point. One that plugged into the wall. Lux is a necromancer. I mean, kind of. Yeah, like, so I'm playing D&D with a group of people where it's a Stardew Valley based story with the D&D, and I am a druid, and my intention is for him to be a Circle of Spores druid, and a Circle of Spores druid is functionally like having a necromancer in the party. We haven't really done much, though. You know, it was supposed to be a campaign that we planned out to go for a year, but it's going really fucking slow. So I think Tuesday this week, we're supposed to finally do our first thing that could introduce us to combat. Like, we're going into the cave, so we might have our first introduction to combat, so our first chance to use spells and stuff. I'm not sure, though, exactly how long it's going to take for us to get through stuff. And it's supposed to be like a mystery. Like, the proposed story is that we have a mystery to solve regarding the origins of the town. Why is it such a weird, isolated town? Like, who started it? Where did it come from? Yeah, D&D is hard to organize and keep going. A mycomancer? Yes. I'm looking forward to D&D this week. It's always 420 on the West Coast. True. What's that phrase I hear people use? I'm California sober. Means like you don't drink, but you do smoke. My brain can only think necromancer. That sounds like a personal problem. Mycomancer sounds like a fun guy. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. My voice is so fucking thrashed right now. Oh, God. Yeah, we had stuff that we didn't even get to today. It means that we'll have lots of content on Wednesday. Anything that we didn't get to today. My GM gave me a custom magic item recently. So sweet. I have, so you can have a, Jesus, what is it called? A druidic totem instead of using consumable items for spells that require a consumable item. And because this character is like a death druid, I think his druidic totem is like a small animal skull with like moss and like maybe a quartz crystal stuck into it. And I kind of want to like make one, you know, like I kind of want to just make one of those for myself. You know, my character at the Renaissance Festival this year is going to be a druid. I crocheted a bunch of leaves like this one, but they're bigger than this and most of them are like green. I just don't have any of them on my desk right now. And I'm gonna like stitch those together into a little like crop top kind of shirt. And I have like green pants. I might get some different sandals because the sandals that I have right now are like purple. And one of my friends made me a headband with some deer antlers on it out of like polymer so that they're not that heavy. And I was gonna maybe crochet some tiny mushrooms and put them on, and like maybe some like moss and like dangling stuff. So I do think it would be cool. And like I might carry the wand with me. I haven't decided if I'm going to carry the wand or if I'm going to bring it home. But yeah. I think if I can get a hold of a small animal skull, I don't know, would a rabbit skull work? I'm going to be able to come into contact with one of those pretty soon. Anyway, I kind of like the idea of making that druidic totem. Just a little thing you can hold in your hand. I played a Spores Druid, kind of clunky on action economy. Sure. It's my first character, you know? You don't make a totem for yourself, you make ones for the people you care about, or it won't work. So in my story, I'm like, I think that he picked up like a cat skull or something before he left the city. If you're going to be defleshing things, dermasteed beetles. I have isopods. I know that they will eat the skull too if I leave it in there for too long, but like I could hypothetically use the isopods and then just take the skull out before they start chewing on the skull itself too much. Spore Druid Monk is a fun combo. I'm not going to get new beetles because I'm going to move in the middle of the winter and kill off any bugs that I have. Rabbit skulls are too small for a bongo set, too big to make cool war helmets for Beanie Babies. This conundrum is real, yeah? No Catskills, bad luck? Why? Anyway, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up there, because I need to pee so bad, and I will plan to see you all on Wednesday. I have so many segments left to discuss. We've got so many good things. I'm sure more fucking news will happen between now and then, because it is impossible to go one day without some new catastrophic news hitting the wavelengths. The gem weakens the totem. This is too much. This is too much detail for me. Okay. I just wanted it to look cool. All right. So I will see you all on Wednesday. Hope you have a good start to your week. And be good. Or at least don't get caught about it. All right? Jeez. Jeez.